Make sure you have something to write with and to write on. This, you will take a lot of notes, and make sure you have questions at the end. You don't have to wait to the end to ask a question. You can ask a question. Just raise your hand, and I'll try to answer it to the best of my ability. This is, you can write this down. Preparedness is my insurance plan. Preparedness is my insurance plan. This is your insurance plan against disaster, against what ifs, the what ifs. No, I'm saying, just write this down somewhere. I just want you to write that part down, that preparedness is my insurance plan. The Bible says that Joseph knew that a famine was coming to Egypt, and because of that foreknowledge, he prepared. He put himself in a position to dominate versus being dominated. When you're unprepared, you'll be dominated. If you don't have no food, you'll be dominated by those who do. If you don't have no water, you'll be dominated by those who do. So if you don't have your medicine, you'll be dominated by those who have it. So preparedness is making sure that you put yourself in a position to dominate your surroundings and dominate your life, so you won't be dominated. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So this is the reason why we're doing this, okay? Many times, because the sun is shining and it's beautiful outside, we think, well, you know, why do we need this? You don't need it now. That's the whole point. That's the time to prepare, is when you don't need it. The Bible says Joseph prepared in them 7 years when it was plenty. He started storing up because he knew the 7 years of famine were coming. So this is where we prepare. We prepare when ain't nothing happening. You know what I'm saying? Insurance is just in case. Okay, so you always, when you prepare, then you're ready for the just in case. Not only that, but 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to prepare your neighbors. You're going to have to prepare your loved ones, because most people without a true biblical worldview, they don't take this stuff seriously, because they feel that, hey, nothing's going to happen, and we're in America, and America can't go wrong. And so if it do happen, the government will swoop in and take care of us. And that's what they thought in New Orleans, and you see what happened with that. So we want to be prepared, okay? So the first topic that I said we would deal with was emergency planning. Okay, now, what I want you to do is, you can make a note, but first on your paper, draw a rectangle, just draw a square or a rectangle on your paper, because I want you to, everybody's house is different. This symbolizes your house. Don't draw a little one. You need to draw big enough that you can actually put your house in your rooms, the rooms of your house. You want to just make a mental note of your rooms, of your bedrooms, living room, kitchen, where the windows are and where the doors are. Make a mental note and write that down. You don't have to be perfect, but sketch it. As long as it's legible for you and your family. When you get home, you're going to blow it up. You're going to do it bigger. You can even do it on, if you can do it on a computer, it's fine, but just get a bigger piece of paper and do it big enough where you can hang that, have 2 of them. You want to have 2 of them. It's very important. You want one, of course, in your kitchen, and maybe one somewhere in the hallway or something. But you want to, and what you're going to do is, you're going to plan your emergency exit. Okay, if it's a fire in the living room, we can't go out the front room door. So we need to, which way are we going? You may think that's small now, but in the case of an emergency, that's big to already have it, that you've already planned on which way you're going. Okay, so know what windows is going to be the ones that you're going out of if you have to. Okay, what if somebody break in your house? Do you know which way you going? I mean, those are very important things. Okay, so what you want to do is sketch your house, and then give your children, have an emergency plan. Do an emergency plan with your children, so they know which way to go. Just in case, what if something happened and you can't get out? They know how to get out. They know which way to go. They know what window to run to. If you live on the 2nd floor or something, then you need to be thinking about, if there's no fire escape, then you need to be thinking about which way do we go. Just to, you know, is there any other way that we can get out other than the front door? These are things that people don't think about. When firemen show up and they see people have gotten burned up in houses, number one reason is because a person didn't understand that you looking at the fire and the disasters on TV. Because if you see it on TV, all you see in the fires on TV, you see fire and you see stuff burning and people are running through the fire and they're able to navigate. That's not how fire is. A real fire is black smoke. You can't see anything. You're literally choking and you become disoriented, and the people don't die of burning, they die of asphyxiation. So to have knowledge already where you know which way to go, you have a working knowledge of how to get out of your house. Even if it comes to the point that it is a fire, then you know, then it's gonna give you extra. Okay, now, now we're not just talking about fire. We're just talking about the emergencies, period. Okay, because it could be flood. It don't have to be fire. I mean, we saw this flood that just came, and people didn't think that stuff would happen. So we want to make sure we're prepared with that. So the first part I'm trying to tell you is to sketch a diagram of your house, and room by room, and then draw 2 exits. You got to be able to get out both ways, not just, you need 2 ways to get out. Okay, of course one is the front door. Okay, but you may not be able to go out the front door or the back door, so you may need to look at which bedroom do we run to. The kids just need to know that, even if they're little, drill it in them. They know this is which way we going when we ready to get out. Okay. Also, not only do you need to now under emergency planning, it's the same topic. You want to get one. I mean, you want to get 2, one main meeting place. Once all your people get out of the house, you want your children to know where it is without you. You want your spouse to know where this meeting place is. It could be a neighbor's house. It could be a run up to the big tree and stay there until I come. Or you know, they need to know where we're going to meet at. Because, you know, in case of how you in the house and then something happened, but before you get home from work or something, you need to know, they know we're going to meet here at this tree. We're going to meet at this. We're going to meet at this neighbor's house, or we're going to meet at this place. Your children need to know, have working knowledge of how to get there. So don't put nothing where they need a map. A child don't, disoriented. You want a child to have second knowledge. If something happens, you go here, so they know which way to go. Okay. Now, if have 2 places, because the first place may not have a B. Okay, you got the place A. There needs to be a plan B. What if the safe place, something's happening there? Your child needs to know automatically, I go to this other place. Okay? Most of this is for your children. I mean, nobody, that's why I told you, nobody thinks about this stuff until they need to think about it. And that's the problem, and then a person is never prepared in those situations. Okay? Okay, now, one of the things before I go further, I just want to let you all know that even the Bible talks about that we see the increase of natural disasters, what they call natural disasters. I call it judgment, but we see the increase of it. So it's 9 times out of 10, we are going to experience this. Okay, we're going to experience some level of natural disaster, and we're going to have to be prepared for it. Nobody's going to be exempt in this next year. Yeah. Well, it would always be good for as far as to help them. But one thing that I really don't want to do is rely on electronics, because what happens if the phone get wet? What happens if this whole system go down? I mean, all GPS works on the whole system. So if that go down, then everything goes down. What you need is, like, let's say this is my house. I'm not gonna tell my child, meet me over on Broadway. That's too far. What I'm gonna tell them is, from my house, they ought to be able to see where they're gonna be. When you look out the house, this is where you're going to. Tell whoever neighbor or friend, you tell them this. You are my safe spot. That's why we got to know our neighbors. You are my safe spot. My child gonna run here if something happened. They already know to come here. Is this okay with you? Okay, you need to. That's something you need to do, especially like little kids, because a little child in times of stress and emergency, what do children do? They stand there. They stand there. They don't know what to do. They're looking for you to tell them. But because but one thing I've learned, when a child has already been told what to do, and you not only told them, but you held their hand and you walked them to this place, and you did it more than one time, it's automatically they know what to do now. Something happened, go to the safe place. You know, go to the safe spot. Call it the safe zone. Call it the safe place. And you want to do it with 2 different places. You know, if nobody's here, go here. If something's happening here, go here. Make sure that you know, they know, and make sure that it's just a family thing. Everybody don't need to know where y'all safe place is. It really needs to be between y'all. And if you send them over somebody's house, of course that person needs to know, okay? So that's why I said don't draw no elaborate map. If you got to realize this child's going to be by themselves. They could be little, navigating alone. So you want them to just be able to go right in. You can see from your door, they can see where they're going, okay? That is a big deal when it comes to being prepared, because it's peace of mind. That's just peace of mind. That's just peace of mind. I thank God we live right across from the fire station. So they know, run across the street. Always go to the fireman. There's a safety over there. As a matter of fact, it is a safe place. But the point is you just want your child to know where to go, okay? All right. Now, before we get into, I want to talk about, I was telling you about 9 times out of 10, we're going to see some disasters, okay? I'm not doom and gloom, but it's just possible, okay? There's different things that could happen. Kentucky is not really known for earthquakes yet. There was an earthquake that came through here a while back, and it wasn't big, but it was definitely scary. But what we do see, tornadoes and flooding is a big deal in Kentucky. Okay, so there's different ways now. And I'll get into this when we're talking about emergency supplies. But this is the reason why you need this, because you are in a place that's prone to 2 of the common things that catch people off guard: flooding and tornadoes. Those people never prepare for them, because it's something that just comes, it strikes fast, you didn't know it was coming. Now, a lot of what I'm talking about, I'm saying natural disasters, but I'm also talking about man-made disasters too. I'm talking about martial law, government shutdown, stuff happens where you have to get out of the city. These are things too, but this emergency preparedness will work on any level, because being prepared is all the same. No matter what it is, no matter what happened, being prepared is the same. You got to survive, okay? Which is the bottom line. Amen. All right. So we're going to look at under emergency planning. I want you to put this is another topic. You need to have a grab and go pack. It's called a grab and go pack. Some people call it a bug out kit, but it's a grab and go pack. Okay. Now, having a specific pack stocked and ready to go in case of an emergency or sudden evacuation is valuable advice. Peace of mind comes from knowing you have a pack set up for each member of the household that you can grab and go if time comes to make a hasty departure. And so this is what a grab and go pack is. It's something that you don't use this every day. You're not walking around with this backpack. Some people have a bug out kit in their car. They leave it in their car because if they're in their car, they need to get it, they go. But you have a kit, okay? And we're going to tell you what you need to put in this kit for your family. This is not something you play around with. You just put it away, and when you need it, it's there, okay? But the point is you already got it, okay? It's already ready to go. Because after something happened, it's too late. If something was to happen right now and we don't know, we would just be sitting here. Nobody really knows what to do in an emergency except thinking, wait till because what were we taught to do? Wait for the people to come and rescue you. You know, that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable for my family, for me to wait for people to do something for me that I can do for myself, okay? And you must understand, in a time of emergency, what are other people going to be doing? See, people going to be panicking, and they ain't going to have nothing prepared, and you're going to have to be able to understand, while you and your family moving fast, getting out, they not prepared. So people won't, take your stuff. You're not even prepared to deal with that. See, it's not even the fact of the disaster. Most of the time people get in trouble. If you study what happened in New Orleans, a lot of them people died just for the lack of, they didn't even understand how people would respond in an emergency. Okay? All right. So what should a pack have? Each member of your household should have his or her own pack with essentials. The word you should have wrote down was essentials. What should each pack have? Essentials. Means, what do I need to live and survive? And don't forget your pets. If you have pets, please don't leave your dog to die. If you help it. If you can't help it, hey, he's an animal. He can go. But I'm saying don't, because that's a lot of that happens in disasters. You see, if you even look at those wildfires, dogs and cats running around because people leave the animals. So try to have something. That means if you do have a pet, then you should have a little kit for your pet. Your pet's gonna need food. Your pet's gonna need what the pet needs. Okay, so don't just run out and not have nothing for your pet, and then you got your food for y'all, and the pet's looking at y'all, and you like, you gone. You got to make it. So now that's going to be a problem if you don't prepare. It's going to be a problem. But if you prepare, then you got your in the pet's kit. There's dog food. There's stuff for this pet. Okay. So, but anyway. Okay. What kind of pack should you use? A durable backpack is the best way to go. Simple. Okay. Children can carry it. Little kids can carry a backpack. It shouldn't be weighed down and heavy. You got to realize you trying to go somewhere. Okay, so if your child got this backpack on, what's that gonna happen? They're gonna get tired and gonna get complaining, and they're gonna get you can't take the whole house. Okay, this is just for emergencies. I'm trying to get from one place to the next place. Okay, okay. Backpacks are made to distribute weight evenly over the back and shoulders and allows the hands to be free. So it makes a good choice for all ages. Also considering you may have to walk a distance, it's important to plan for this comfort. You'll also find the various pockets are handy to separate and store items. So a backpack is the best thing to have. So if you got 3 people or 4 people in your family, you need to have 4 backpacks. Don't let the kids share. Let them have their own backpack and make them more responsible. Carry your own backpack, okay? Some people, some people in their car, and I suggest you do this. You remember those silly looking packs people used to wear right here? Oh, I hated those. But in an emergency, a lot can go on that thing. It go around your waist, and it can save your life. You can have your vitals inside of there. So you yourself, that's what you have keep in your car. That'll fit in your glove compartment. It could fit in your. I'm gonna tell you what to put in it, but first of all, that's what you can just have in your car. Okay, that's something that's a grab and go pack, real simple. Okay, because what happens if one of the things that people don't understand about disasters, you trying to get home. If it's a disaster, what's the number one thing gonna happen? Gridlock. That's what we don't understand. You think you just gonna drive? No, gridlock is the problem. Cars are stopped, roads are blocked just from cars. So you might have to get out. You might have to leave your car and walk. Well, then this little ugly looking fanny pack is important, because now you got these packs of spare water in here. You got some ration bars in here, Powerade bars and all. You got stuff in here, okay? That if you had to walk, you got some stuff in here to refresh you. So these are things that nobody thinks about that. But what happens if let's say if you down here and you try to get home, gridlock, you can't get home. Well, I gotta get home. The kids are home. I gotta get home. You ain't gonna what you gonna do? You ain't gonna just wait. You gonna, okay, look, we gonna have to do something. Cars are stopped. Get out. Let's walk. Okay, now you're gonna have to have something to get to make sure you can navigate to get home. You're going to need water. Those are things you're going to have. So we're going to talk about that, okay? All right. Okay, what should you pack? We're not talking about the fanny pack, okay? That's different. We're talking about in your emergency grab-and-go pack, in your backpacks, okay? FEMA recommends that each person have 1 gallon of drinking water per day. That's a lot, but you need it. You don't understand. See, now the problem, this is the greatest problem with trying to survive. People underestimate water. You underestimate water because it comes out of that tap and it just runs and runs and runs, and you never think about it because all your life in America, we've had water running out of the tap. It was clean. You can drink out of it. You can take a bath. But you don't understand, in times of emergency, like what happened down in New Orleans, the sewers back up. The water, everything, you can't drink that water. It's contaminated, okay? So what happens? The water's contaminated. So now people didn't prepare to disinfect water. They don't know how to disinfect water. So they never had no extra water put up, drinking water. Now, right now, you can go, and this is something that I want you to do, okay? So that means if you need, your pack need to be, you need to have your packs prepared for at least 3 days. Okay, at least 3 days, because in 3 days you can walk somewhere. The children of Israel could walk from Egypt to the promised land in 3 days. So you can walk out from somewhere to safety within 3 days. Okay, so that means 3 days. How many people? If I got 4 people in my family, how many gallons of water I need? I need 12 gallons of water. Why? Because they need a gallon. Now you're thinking about drinking water, but you got to think about cooking. You got to think about, putting water, sanitation. What about putting water on your body? Wiping your face with a rag. Those are things you need water for. Okay, so each person needs a gallon of water. Now, so what you're gonna do when you leave here is you're gonna go and go to the you go Kroger's, get some distilled water, get 12 gallons, leave it just leave it. Don't drink it. You don't have to change that water out to you can leave that water for 6 months or a year, and that water still be good when you open it. Just get it and leave it. That's how you know you're prepared, okay? All right, so water. So what am I having in my pack? Water, okay? It's important to be sure everyone stays properly hydrated. Dehydration can cause fatigue, confusion, low blood pressure, delirium, unconsciousness, and even death. One of the things that I really love and enjoy watching the survivor shows. I've always liked that, and I've got a lot of good information from those survivor shows. Number one thing, when if you ever watch Survivor like Bear Grylls or those Dual Survivor or the Survivor Man, they all got three main things they look at when they're trying to survive. The number one thing they look at is water. Water is very important. Water, shelter, then food. That's how really you're supposed to operate. Water, shelter, food. Because when you get low on water, your mind gets, if you ever really been dehydrated, your mind gets cloudy, you get tired and fatigued, so you got to have a water source. Secondly, it's something to put over your head. You need somewhere where you're going to sleep at night, because if it rain on you and it's cold, that's hypothermia. So I'm not talking we're going out in the wilderness, okay? I'm just giving y'all understandings of survival. It's 3 main things you have to have, which you should have wrote that down: water, shelter, and food. Okay, 1 gallon of water is 128 ounces, which is about 6 to 8 store-bought bottles, depending upon the size of the bottles. If you're unable to carry that much water, plan ahead how you will obtain drinking water from clean sources. So if you can't plan to have that water, I didn't hear you. It's 6 to 8 bottles. Basically, a gallon of water is 6 to 8 bottles per person. 1 gallon of water is about 6 to 8 of the bottle of water you buy. It's about that many. Now, of course, that's a lot of weight. So that means what we're going to do. So we may have to have a wagon, something to carry it with, instead of, packing it all on your back, okay? Remember, the smaller your family, the less you're going to have anyway. The larger your family, then they can carry stuff, okay? But if you got little bitty children, then you might think of, well, let me have a wagon or something to put this in if we have to walk somewhere, okay? So these are things that you should be thinking about. Wagon. See, just write that down. That's what you're thinking about. You ain't writing down everything I'm saying. You're just thinking about what do we need and what do we need to do. Because I'm just here to tell you what you're not thinking about. Okay? Who had it? Yeah. Let me say it. Let me say it so I can get it on tape. That's a good point. You can use what you have at home. Matter of fact, you actually throwing away stuff you can use for water. You buy a bottle of water, keep the bottle, go fill that bottle up and leave it. Put the top on it and leave it. I mean, you buy a bottle of water anyway. Louisville has some of the cleanest drinking water in the nation. So literally, most of the bottled water is drinking water out of the tap anyway. You need to know that. Most of the bottled water is drinking water. So you already buying the bottle. Just fill it up with water. Put it in the closet and leave it alone. You know, if you do that all the time, look how much water you have just because from what you bought for one and one. For one you drank, you putting one away. And that's just simple coming out of the tap. That's going to be important if you need that, okay? All right. Now, so number one thing you put in your pack, water. Number two, food. You got to have food in your pack. Okay? Okay. Pack non-perishable, airtight packaged food. Okay? You don't want to get food that you put in a Ziploc, a sandwich in a Ziploc. You know, you won't think about food that's already made to last. Made to last. Now, right now, when you go shopping, this is the point about preparation. If you know, you can just, when you go shopping, now your mind's on it, what are you going to do? Let me grab some of these nature bars and put them over here. We ain't got to eat these. We ain't to eat all of this. Let me grab some sardines and some Spam and put this over. We ain't got to eat this. Let me grab some cans of peanut butter, put it up. This is how you think. Now this is stuff you can do. Now this means nothing to you now. Oh, why we do that? But let it come something happen and you got them rations over there. You're going to be real happy that you didn't go in there and eat that. Yeah. That you put that up over there. Okay? So this is what you do now. You don't have to run out and go crazy. Okay? You know, spend $1,000. You ain't got to do that right now. But you going to the store today or tomorrow anyway. So why not, let me every time I go, then this is what I've been doing. What we've been doing is every time I go to the pawn shop, because that's where I get my ammunition at. I go just buy a box or two, just put that up. You know, I don't go to the range all the time and shoot all my ammunition out. You know, I used to. Shooting is addictive. You got that, you just shooting, especially you shooting the kind of guns I got. These AR-15s, you shoot them. This is like assault rifles. You get happy because you can hit stuff. But I just put it up. You know, to where you don't have to go crazy. You know, like when we go like when we go over here to where we get a lot of our bulk food at, you know, I told my wife, every time we go over here, we just gonna buy 100 pounds of rice. This $35. We just buy it just cause we went that day. Well, that don't mean nothing now, but let something happen and you sitting there with 2,000-3,000 pounds of rice. Well, then you not gonna be dominated. You would dominate because money ain't gonna mean nothing. What's gonna mean something? Food, water, and shelter. That's going to be the barter. That's what you're going to have to trade and barter for stuff. Okay? So put yourself in. Now, I've been telling y'all this. And if you go back and look at the words I've been giving y'all, the nation is doing what I said. So take heed that when I'm telling y'all, you should be putting, Joseph knew this stuff, and that's why he put Egypt in a position of empowerment through a crisis, through a famine. That's what preparedness does. That's why would God give you prophetic insight? It's for preparation, okay? So every time you go to the store, you know, buy you big can of something, put it up. Just put it in the cabinet. Don't even look at it. Don't eat that. You know, don't eat that. That just, matter of fact, separate it from what you eat because you'll eat it. Just remember, this is not for now. In 6 months, if ain't nothing happen, replace it and eat what's there. In 6 more months, replace it and eat what's there. You don't have to, the whole point is to have something already put up. If you do that now, then look at what you're going to have. Some people go to save a lot. I mean, because, the best thing in the store is canned goods. I ain't going to get out too deep in that right now. I'm still talking about the grab and go. Because you can't put in a whole lot of canned goods in no pack, okay? we talking about you want lightweight stuff to carry on in your backpack, okay? Stuff like granola, trail mix, snack and protein bars are very important. Very important because they're light, but you need protein when you're moving, okay? That's where you get that energy from. And the number one thing that you carry is beef jerky, number one, because it's something that's doesn't spoil, and it's meat, and that's what you need when you moving. You got to have so much amount of protein every day, okay? And that's why when if you watch survivor shows, they'll talk about, the one I love is called Dual Survivor, with this nature hippie dude, and then it's this guy that's a Marine, and I love watching it because you get the both understanding. The nature hippie dude, he goes and gets always something green and some berries or something, and this guy says no, I need something with fur on it, I need some meat because it's going to give us more. So that's, you need something that's going to give you some protein, okay? So and plus beef jerky is real light, okay? Nuts, seeds, dry fruit, this stuff lasts forever. I mean, if you put it in a place, and listen, you must invest if you're serious, you must invest in some type of small food saver, the vacuum pack stuff. You must, because you can really save a lot when you're doing that. Because let's say you did go to the store and you bought this hypothetically big bag of rice. You might eat half of it and then vacuum pack the rest. And if it's vacuum packed, it's going to last. So these are things that you think about. Now you can't vacuum pack everything. Some stuff is not safe to vacuum pack because it's got acids and stuff in it. But this type of stuff, you can vacuum pack and you can have it. That's what you have for your. Now, another thing that you want to invest in the food area, you want to invest in canned meat. Canned meat. They got chicken in the can, tuna in the can, salmon, sardines, stuff like that. That's very important because that give you high protein. Plus, a can of you ever seen a canned good last for a long time? Actually, canned goods last. Joe, move over here. Canned goods last a lot longer than the expiration date. They say that they don't. They say that's why they say it's good if it's eaten by. But what means if what happens is it starts losing flavor and color, but it's still edible to eat. It's just sometimes they say that because it's going to lose its flavor and probably some of the chemicals they put in is going to go away. Don't go get bad stuff because you could get botulism too. But I'm just saying, they do. That's why if you go to some stores, they'll have old canned goods that they still selling. They'll put them over here and you take your chances. Put a black mark on them and you take a chance. But the point is that that's very 3 days worth of food is not as much as you really think. You're talking a couple of cans of Spam and some rice and some, something. And you got to think about cooking. If you can't cook, so you're gonna have to have something that you can to eat right out of the open and eat. Don't get a bunch of stuff ain't got no can opener. Stuff like it's the simple things. People forget stuff. So let's talk more. Okay, now. Okay, that's that part. That's what you need to have in your pack as far as food. Next thing you need to have in your backpack. The most important thing to pack in the event of disaster. It's very overlooked. Plenty of socks, plenty of underwear, several thin layers of shirts, a windbreaker, and a waterproof jacket and hat. Yeah. Socks, underwear, several thin layers of shirts. Now, why is that important? Layers keep you warm. Also, layers, when you have layer clothing, you can control the temperature. So you may have 3 shirts on, and if it gets too hot, you take one off and you okay. Because if it's cold, the last thing you want to do if it's cold is to start sweating, and people don't know that. Because what happens when you panicking? You sweating. When you start sweating, you in the all out. You sweating, and then it gets night and it gets cold. Now your body core, because your clothes are wet, it can't get its temperature up. So when you sweating, you take off layers to keep yourself from sweating. Okay, yeah. Was that? Go ahead. Got a question? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thin layers of. I mean, you can have. I mean, what this is my this would be my what clothing I would have. Okay, I would have, of course, your socks, about 3 pairs of socks, because if when your feet get wet when you're going somewhere, if you don't change out, you could just stop yourself right there, because your feet can go ahead. Well, I mean, in your pack, I would consider a person having, if you had the ideal, you want some weatherproof boots. You know what I mean? I mean, that's ideal, but I mean, come on, you may not be able to go out and afford no weatherproof or waterproof boots, but you just have, I would have a good dry pair of shoes in there plus what I got on. So if my shoes get wet, I got another dry pair plus dry socks. I probably wouldn't. What I would do, I wouldn't. I probably would, even if in the summertime, I wouldn't change out that. I would never change. I wouldn't. The layers of clothing, I wouldn't put shorts in that bag. I would always put pants, and I would always put stuff in there that would give me the most advantage. Because even in the summertime, if it starts raining, I still need to understand, what if it gets cool or something. I still have to understand that it's better to have those things and not need it than to not have it. Okay. All right. So remember, you need a windbreaker. You know what a windbreaker is. You know, and some type of waterproof, like a raincoat, and a waterproof hat. Because if you're walking in the rain, at least that's going to keep your inner core dry. Okay. The worst thing is to get wet when you're going somewhere. I'm telling you, it's really bad. If you get wet, even if it's warm outside, if you get wet and it get nighttime, you get cold. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can do. I mean, there's survival is just implementation. It's not. I mean, there's really no rule. It's like, because every situation is different. You live in different places. Like your house, like Sister Rachel, y'all house is different from ours. So what y'all have to do is maybe be a little different from us. But the whole point is, when a person is thinking, they'll think that way. Like, that's a thought that you already thinking. Now, if we hadn't talked about that, you wouldn't have thought that. You wouldn't have thought about, well, just put a trash bag in the shoe. You wouldn't have thought that. Okay? But right now, when you don't need it and you got a little extra, I would try to invest in some waterproof socks. They got some waterproof insoles liners that you put in shoes, or a pair of good waterproof boots. It's just good to have. Okay. But don't run out and go to the wilderness store and go lumberjack crazy. We're not talking like that, because we're talking preparedness is you're gonna do a little bit, because you're gonna spend some money on something. This is not cheap to be prepared. Okay. The point is you thinking, because see what happens now when you're in Walmart. It's different now when you just going to you're like, oh, and you see some, Pastor, he was talking about a camping stove. He was talking about getting a little small utility, a small survival knife. Just stuff like that, stuff that you don't think about. You'll go do that because it's there, and you're thinking about it. All right, so you need, okay. In a disaster situation, you may have to walk long distances. So if your budget allows, pack extra pair of good walking shoes. Because what if the weather's not bad? Then you don't want no big boots on. You want some nice, comfortable shoes if you got to put some real miles down. Okay. Everything I'm telling y'all goes off of me watching New Katrina. That's everything I saw. I was sitting there watching Katrina, like, if they would have had this, if they would have thought this way, if they would have just did this. I was like, they wouldn't have, all the people wouldn't have died, and it wouldn't have been such a tragedy, but they had nothing. They waited on the government. They waited on somebody to rescue them. And because they were waiting, they were just caught like they got dominated. They got dominated. That's what happens when you're not prepared. All right. Yes. We're going to get into that. Yeah, we're gonna get into that. I mean, we're gonna get into that. Um, okay. Um, let's see. Now, of course, the fourth thing we're going to talk about that deals with our pack is shelter. Okay, so this item can include many things, but the very least, pack some sort of tarp. They call them rain flies. You know what a tarp is? Does everybody know what a tarp is? Okay, who don't know what a tarp is? Is you ever seen what we put over? You put over stuff to protect stuff outside. It could just be it's really a big piece of plastic, actually. Okay, they got them in sizes from what, 6 little small all the way up to big as a house. So you need to get a small one. A small one. They got them at any home store, Home Depot, Lowe's, Bass Pro, even Walmart sell them. I mean, they vary, but they when you pack them up, they pack up real little. But that's important because let's say you going somewhere, you walking, and it's nighttime. Children get tired. You can't just walk children. You can't go carry them. You have to stop and go to sleep. So you can't lay out in the rain. If there's no shelter, you take your tarp, you could throw it over a branch, put some, and then you also with your tarp, you're going to have some tactical rope. It could just be some clothesline, just simple as some clothesline. Because all you do with a rain fly is here's a tree, and here's a tree, which y'all may need to get this on the video. This may help you more. But here's a tree, and here's a tree. You tie one rope to this tree and tie it to this tree about this high, and just put the tarp over it. Take some sticks and stake it underground. Pull your rain fly out, and you're just making like a little teepee under there, a little shelter, and that's all you need to keep the rain off of you. Okay. Because getting wet is one of the worst things that can happen when you're outside, when you're trying to survive. Okay. If you have a good pop tent, that's good. I mean, they make tents now that are nice size, and they'll fold down into nothing, and you pull the string, and they pop out. And that's the most ideal thing to have, because you can put that on your back and carry it, put it in a backpack, and that's good to have. One of the things about when I was watching this stuff is you want it to be easy. You don't want to get out there and have to read manuals. You know what I mean? You just want it to be so, because you're gonna have enough stress and pressure. Think about the mentality of what just happened. And my house is, and you trying to get somewhere. You don't need to be out there with what trying to figure stuff out. It should just be easy. And everything now they make it simple. So you should have something that will make it easy for you. Okay. So if you can invest and get you a small tent, get one. They're gonna probably get it, But make sure you understand, the more elaborate you get, the more weight you're gonna carry. The less smart it is. It's not always having nothing big. Sometimes it's just something small that you can manage. Okay. Now, also included in your pack, you need to have one small roll of plastic sheeting. Okay. In each person's pack to form a waterproof layer on the ground. Okay, so that's just a roll of everybody know the plastic old folk put over the window. Most old people, they put that staple that it's kind of thick, put it over the window. That's what you need. It's thick plastic that if you lay on it, it ain't gonna tear, and that's gonna keep you up off the ground, keep the moisture and the cool from coming from the ground. And or if just used to sitting down on the ground, you don't know where you may have to sit, so that's important to have that. Okay, let's see. Now, what else should you have in your pack besides food, water, and shelter? Okay, there are essentials that everyone should have access to when an emergency situation occurs. Here's a short list of the items that shouldn't be forgotten. Okay, and I want you to write all of these down. Waterproof matches. Waterproof matches. Don't rely on a lighter, because if a lighter get wet, it ain't gonna work. Waterproof matches will strike underwater. Flashlight with extra batteries, or the best thing to have, they got them out now, it's a hand crank light. They got a radio, emergency radio with a hand crank light on it. So you crank it and you actually create power that makes it work. Or solar, they have solar lights, but it has some type of flashlight or something, okay? Prescription medication and over-the-counter medication if you have that, okay? So that means that, let's say, so when you're doing, if you have medicine, then you need to think about your prescriptions, okay? You're gonna have to get prescriptions, try to get them a little bit in advance so you can have a stock already there. You use that and put that back, you use that and put that back, so if something happens, you got 30 days at least of medication. I mean, this is wise to do it like that, okay? If we already said a rain or poncho for each person, a first aid kit, a basic first aid kit, basic, okay? You want to be able to disinfect the cut, you want to be able to have bandages, and you want to be able to, like peroxide, that all, they got the kits, you can just buy a whole kit, a small kit, everything's inside that kit, and that's all you need. You don't need anything else, okay? I think you can buy a whole kit now over at Walmart, for about $10 you have a whole kit. All right, and this is going to Sister Melissa's question. This is what you need, the adults, the adults, okay, the head of the household, the adults. You need copies of identification, okay? That means not just your ID in your pocket. You need a copy of that ID. Just in case you lose your wallet or you lose that, you got a copy in your pack of your ID already, because that stuff will be important when you're going somewhere. If it's a disaster, that's the first thing they're going to say, who are you? Where you going at? You're going to have some type of way to explain who you are. So to have your ID photocopy and have it in your pack already, so, because what if you can't, what if something happened and your purse gets lost or you can't get to your purse? Well, you still got your ID in your pocket, okay? Also, a good thing to do, now I don't have this on here, but it was just something I was thinking about. A good thing to do would be to have one of those prepaid credit cards. Just leave it in there. Even if you got to pay the little few dollars a month to keep it, just leave it in there. With maybe you gonna need. Well, I'll tell you, I ain't gonna get too far ahead of myself. But that's just something that important. You might just leave it in there and not even fool with it. Okay. All right. Also, any other important papers you might need, okay? I would carry my deed to my house, my car stuff, my registration papers. These are things that I may need for when I come back. I don't want these papers to be messed up. Insurance papers, medical cards and medical papers. You need to put those in a Ziploc bag to waterproof them, and they should be in your pack too. Also, write out and laminate one card for each person with important information, including addresses, phone, work address, school address, health information, parents' names, kids' names, and other family names. Basically, you're going to make your own ID card with and you're going to laminate them. And each person should have that in their pack. Okay, space will be at a premium, so carefully pack all the items into each backpack. Clearly mark the packs with each household member's name and date it, and the date it was packed. Okay, so if it's something in there that needs to be changed out in 6 months, like food, and okay, you could take this out because you know what date you put all that stuff in there, so you know how long that stuff is going to last in there. Okay, cut the air conditioner on. Okay, all right. Yeah, downstairs. All right. As time passes, the family's needs will change, so it's a good idea to mark your calendar to evaluate your packs routinely. Some items, such as food and medication, will need to be checked and rotated periodically. Even identification information may change, such as schools and phone numbers and stuff like that. Okay. I already talked about the meetup place. Okay. Let's see. All right. Now, that's the emergency planning part. Okay? Yes. Go ahead. For the fanny pack, she's asked, the question is, I'm going to say it again because I'm trying to get it on tape. She's asking this, it would be good to have a fanny pack at work. I don't think too much preparation is bad, okay? Especially if you don't have a car. I would keep one at work. You know, I would just have something that I could grab and run with if I had to. Even you know, I don't think it's a bad time because, you know, look how much crazy stuff happens at work. You know, that you need to survive. You know, so I wouldn't think it would be a bad idea to have you know, as much preparation as you can. The whole point is, you know, you're thinking about your budget. You know, what can you afford? You know, these are just the areas that you want to, you know. But at the same time, it's good to be. It's just preparation, okay? All right. Now, what's the second one? The second part. Okay. Disaster supply kit. Now, this is different from emergency planning. Okay, if you notice, emergency planning is get up and go. Disaster is like we may have to stay here and survive. Yeah. Yeah, I mentioned something. Thank you. I'm gonna say it again to get it on tape. I was talking about maybe a week or two ago about feminine products in your disaster, in your emergency pack. Thank you for saying that. Very important to have those in your fanny pack, your emergency pack, and to have a stock of it. I mean, when I say a stock of it, you know, those are pretty light. So I would have, I mean, I'm not a woman, but I would have me enough to more than, better be more than 3 days. I would have a whole lot because you never know. You know, I just would have me a lot. And actually, to be honest, those things are kind of versatile because they burn well. I'm saying, really, you can put we put them over a cut. I mean, those are, I'm not, they got versatile uses. But that's very important because that's something people don't think about. People don't think about that's going to be an issue. You know, you out there, you ain't got no water. Oh, Lord Jesus. Ain't no water. You ain't got, just maybe got burned, no little rags. Oh, my goodness. You going to need help. What did he do? I mean, yeah, I mean, I would carry, you know, I mean, that's all in your, you know, these are, I mean, some stuff, I'm not going to say everything. Some stuff kind of common sense. You know you're going to need some tissues or toilet paper. I mean, these are things you're just going to need. I mean, throw that in. Everybody should have some toilet paper in their pack. You know, that's important. Okay? But that goes along with the feminine products, you know. Don't forget those things that you're going to need, okay? Also, keep in mind, that's why I said, why you think we're talking about enough water? See, now we're not talking about just drinking water. You may have need water to wash and, you know, stuff like that. That's going to be important. That's why a gallon is important, you know. So if people think a gallon of water, that's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot when you only think about drinking water. But when you think about what if I have to use this to wash, to do other things with the sanitizer, then it becomes, you'd be glad you put that water up. Okay? Yes. Say it again. Okay, I'm gonna get into that. We getting into disaster stuff. We're gonna talk about that because this is talking about tools. Tools. Okay. And just so we get that on tape, her question was, what do you need as far as heating the water up and stuff? We're gonna talk about that too. Okay. This is the reason why I said, what's the main thing you need? No, I mean, she's talking about heating up water. What is the main thing you need? Matches. You need, that's number one. You got to have a way to have fire, okay? Some of you all, you know, we urbanize. You need to go learn to start a fire, a safe way to start a fire, okay? I'm serious. I know it sounds, you know, but, you know, especially some of y'all females, y'all don't, know, you need to know, how do I start a fire and correctly and not burn up everything and burn up the forest. You got to learn that, okay? And one of the ways you do it, especially if you're in a grassy area, this is why we have to have some certain tools we're going to talk about. is you want to make sure that you clear up. You want to dig like a pit, clear all your grass away, make it like a circle. Try to find, if you can find rocks, it'll be good to put a circle of rocks around your the small circle and start your fire inside of there. Okay, that's why you're gonna have to have plenty of. That's when their maxi pads and stuff will come in handy because they'll burn. That's gonna be your fire kindling. You got to have something to start a fire with. Okay, so you might have you some extra fire starting paper, just some paper, just some maybe a small newspaper you just tuck it in your pack because that stuff will start a fire fast. Okay, if you have to do that. Also, we're gonna talk about some things that if you don't have matches or if you run out of your matches, well, how can you do? What do you need? Okay. So I'm gonna get into what you was talking about. Well, let me answer that before. In your pack, you should have. They have what you call alcohol stoves. They're very small. So what you need, that was a good question. What you need to have in your, now you can go online. Now you can make one yourself. That's why you can go on YouTube and look up how to make a soda can stove. You put alcohol in it, you cut top and bottom. It's got demonstrations on there. Or you can just get you like a stove that runs, a small stove that will run like on propane, and instead of propane you can pour you can get a small pot, pour alcohol in it, set another pot on top of that, because alcohol will burn, and that's something you already should have for disinfecting. So make sure everybody should have a small thing of alcohol in their pack, and alcohol will burn, and that's where you can heat up your water that way if you don't go get wood and go through the lumberjack way, but they will start a fire. So you need to have so one person in the family should have that small stove. Okay, and I'm talking about it's literally a pop can, or you can just go to Walmart or Bass Pro and just get a small outdoors stove, it's called a camping stove, real small, and it runs. Some of them run on alcohol, some of them run on propane. But you got a small thing of propane like that. So these are things that you can do. That's not necessarily needed. If you got clean water, then you might be okay. But that's just saying if you don't have clean water, that's the way. Then you do know to boil your water if it's not, So and right now, why ain't nothing happening? You can always get you some iodine tablets to sanitize your water. Okay. Also, in your pack, you ought to have a little bit of bleach. For disinfecting, because you can actually put like some bleach in water and drink it too. Not a lot of bleach. All these things you can find. This is not. That's why I say so. This is stuff. This is not hard. If you have a question, write that down, and that's what you go study that. It's not even. This information is right there. The point is to get you thinking about it. But yes, you do need a. Luckily, not luckily, but that you have men in your family. They should know how to start a fire, but don't rely on that. When I'm talking about start a fire, I don't mean using no alcohol. You need to know how to start a fire. Go in your backyard, get you a little small, just get a pot. Start a fire in a pot. You don't have to do it out on the ground. Do it on concrete or something, but learn to do it. And what you're gonna use, you're gonna go to Bass Pro. It's where you're gonna get it from. I'm telling you what you need to buy to start a fire. This is Bass Pro Shop in Indiana, Bass Pro or any wilderness store, but especially Bass Pro because they have everything we're talking about. You need to go and buy a ferro rod. A ferro rod, I think Ferrol, ferro rod. Now you may have seen them before if you watch any Survivor show. You take a metal knife. And it's a rod, and you take a metal knife and you hit it, and it shoots sparks out, and it'll catch it. The sparks shoot out at 3,000 degrees. It'll set something on fire. That thing is a rod. It'll last forever because it's a rod. So that's something I would have in my pack just in case I run out of matches. I got that ferro rod because that thing will start a fire without anything. Just being able to. So I would learn to start a fire with a ferro rod. That way, yes. I think it's Ferrol, ferro rod. I think it's ferro rod. I've never really looked at the spelling, but I know what they are. because I got one from Amazon.com. You go on Amazon.com, they're like $5. But if something happened, they'll be real expensive. See, I was just telling you right now you can get it for $5. Most everything I'm saying you can get from Amazon.com too. If you're an internet shopper, like I like to get a lot of stuff from there because they have stuff that some places don't have, and they have good deals. So you can go there and get it, like your first aid kits and stuff like that. All right. So now let's talk about our disaster kits. Okay. Which is the second topic. All of that was, I'm saying, but I was trying to answer a question about how to heat up the water. You know, that goes into the disaster part, okay? Because we're talking about surviving. You know, our bug out kits on our grab and go is we walking. We don't really need no fire too much. We going from one place to the next. Okay, that's getting to the next place. Let's say something's wrong with your house, but grandmama's house is straight, but we can't nobody pick us up and cars to stop. We all gonna have to walk to grandmama's. Grandmama might live out Shabley. You know, we'll have to get back. We'll have to get out to Shabley. You know, keeping in mind everybody else is moving around and stuff happening too. So this is why it's important. And then all that stuff will be important. You know, what if it's in another state? What if it's Indiana? What if it's you got to go somewhere far? What if, and see, by you having that, and another thing I was telling you about, you should invest in a disaster emergency radio. It works by solar. You can get one for about $10 that has a light on it, and it has a radio, and it's a hand crank. So you don't even need batteries. You can just crank it, and you crank it up, and it gives it power, and it'll work like that. You know, so you got to invest in that. Why? Because you're going to need to know what's going on. You can't rely on that cell phone. I'm telling you, the cell phone is why people are going to be messed up, because that cell phone is going to be, because it's so convenient. But if the grid go down, everything go down. So you ain't going to get no information anyway. And it's just talking about one switch and it kill all the cell phones. Yes. What about, he said, what about walkie-talkies? Yes. I mean, if that's something you want to invest in, I think I would. I mean, you know, because especially if you have like a family like y'all's, you know, person might say, look, I'm going over here to do this. Because when you're trying to go somewhere, it's important to stay connected and communicate. You may not have a phone, so they might say, look, I'm going to go down here and get some water. I'm going to go down here and do this. And then y'all got that walkie-talkie that has a 20-mile radius that at least I can talk. So that's not a bad idea, I mean, to have it, you know. All right, okay. So, okay, you may need to survive on your own after emergency. Now listen, this is not grab and go, okay? See, we're talking about three different types of survival. This ain't grab and go. This is stay put. But you may have to stay put without power, without water, without gas, without, you know, even the grocery stores. You know how stuff happens when disasters come. People go in there and just go crazy and buy up all the food. It may not be nothing. So how can if you have to sit in your house and stay and survive, what is it you need? That's what we're going to talk about, okay? Okay, there are 6 basic things you need. 6 basic things you need to stock up in your home to make your home to make your disaster supply kit, okay? 6 things you need, okay? These are very important things because how many of y'all know if you're not going nowhere, you can get a whole lot in your house. Okay, don't turn your house into a bunker. You know, people, but at the same time, those people that are preparing for stuff, they're going to be laughing at everybody else. I can see it coming. They're going to be laughing. I told y'all, the people that went up in the woods and stuff, one guy's he was a Wall Street broker. He quit his job and went up, built him a cabin. And he said, because he knows he was part of the collapse. He said, when the collapse come, he said, I already know it's coming, so I'm going now. And he went up in the woods and left his whole life behind. He's crazy right now, but boy, later on, if it happened, he's going to be the most smart, the most sane person. Okay, because it's going to be too late because everybody in the city going to be like panicking. Think about New York. Yeah. New York, everything is trucked in. They literally eat by what's coming in. There's no ground to grow nothing. Them people in trouble. I mean, that's not a good place to be in a metropolitan place. You want to get out of the city. That's another thing that you need to know. You want to get out of the city. You don't want to be in the city if it's disaster hit. Get out of the city. Go out in the country. Go to rural. Go try to get out of the city because the city's going to be a bad place. The city's going to be where they prey on people. You know, See, you got to think about the people who ain't prepared. They gonna take. That's the people you gonna have to worry about. They ain't prepared, so they gonna take what you got. So the best thing to do, if it's a disaster, is try to get out of the city. Okay, all right. That's the emergency grab and go. Okay, grab and go. All right. Now this is the disaster kit. If I have to stay put and survive. Okay, stay put and survive. Okay, so number one, of course, we already said it. Water. If you in the disaster kit, food. Okay, we already said that. Number three, because you already have shelter, because you ain't going nowhere, so it ain't shelter in your disaster kit, is first aid supplies. Number four, tools and emergency supplies. Am I going too fast? Okay. Y'all can say something. Number one is water. Number two is food. Number three is first aid supplies. Number four is tools and emergency supplies. And number five is, we're going to talk about some special items. We're going to break all of these down. Special items. And number six is clothing and bedding. Okay. 6. Water, food, first aid, tools, special items, and clothing and bedding. Okay. Come on now, we got to get this in pretty quick if we're going to get out of here. So, okay. But still, I want your questions. Don't hesitate on your questions. We need those. Some of you are asking questions and I wouldn't even have covered if you wouldn't ask the question. Okay, keep items you would need for an evacuation in a portable container, backpack, or cooler. I mean, y'all know a cooler is very important to keep something in, because if something floods, the cooler's airtight, watertight. Usually, a good cooler is airtight, watertight. Local officials and relief workers will be on the scene after a disaster, but they cannot reach everyone immediately. That's what happened in Katrina. They didn't reach none of them people. Days went by and people didn't have nothing. That might have been the most terrible thing I would ever want to be in, to see this mass of people, no sanitation, no bathrooms, no medicine, old people dying on the side of the road. You know, that's got to be the worst. All for the sake that none of those people had nothing. They had no preparation. Guess what happened to the people who had something? They didn't go to the Superdome. They found another place to walk to. Because I could survive outside. Let me go over here. In fact, as long as it's dry, I can go over here and put my little tent up, be in my little family by ourselves. We got food, we got water, so we ain't got to go in that chaos. See, everybody's going to be running to where help is. And that's what's going to be, but when a person like, we straight, we can make it a few days. And while we're surviving, we can send somebody out to get more, try to find out how to do more, but we ain't going to be in dire, desperate need. The people didn't have nothing but clothes on their back. You remember you seeing the people, no shirts on, and little kids didn't have pampers. That was the word that showed me that what we saw in the Bible is gonna happen. When I saw Katrina, I said, the government, it ain't really the government had a lot to do with that. If they would allow that to happen that way, it can happen anywhere. So you're gonna have to be prepared. Okay. So if you want to ask, what is my precedence for doing this? Well, that's it. I looked at what happened with them people, and I saw how bad it was. Okay, you could get help. You might be able to get help in hours, or it might take days. Okay, that's why you need a disaster kit. In addition, basic services such as electricity, gas, water, sewage treatment, and telephones may be cut off for days or even a week or longer. So, an obvious question becomes, we have to use the bathroom. So, we're going to have some buckets. Now this water comes in handy. We need some buckets because we're going to have to, and then we're going to have a place to dump and a hole to put it in. That's why we're going to need some little basic tools like a small little shovel. These are things you need, okay? This is why people, think of how bad it was when them people didn't have nowhere to use the bathroom. All the people's in there use the bathroom. Just think that alone would make me say I ain't going there. Just because I know people got to use the bathroom, and I know when people don't care, they don't care. People are selfish and think about themselves, and they ain't never been without, and that's what it was. And then people just didn't have Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the first thing. we're going to talk about, because of our disaster kit, if we're going to stay put, store water in plastic containers. Do not use water. Do not use containers that will decompose, like milk cartons and stuff. Don't use glass bottles. Use plastic bottles. Prepare the safest and most reliable emergency supply of water. It is recommended you purchase commercially bottled water. Okay, water's already bottled. You can put it up, ain't got to worry about it. We've already talked about that. Keep bottled water in its original container. Do not open it until you need it. Observe the expiration use by date. Okay, emergency water sachets can have a 5-year shelf life, so you can keep water a long time. It is recommended that you store at least 3 days supply of water for each a 3-day supply of water for each family member, which means 3 gallons, 3 days, 1 gallon per day per member of the family. Okay, half to be used for drinking and half for hygiene. You got to understand, that's one of the greatest killers of people. What kills people? Diseases. You ain't like you go doctor, ain't no penicillin. A little cut get infected, and you ain't got nothing disinfected, and people are dirty. You know, their hands are dirty. You know, you ain't gonna be able to take no bath, but you can wash vital areas and keep sanitized stuff. That's what keeps people from getting diseases. Diseases is what's killing a person. Okay, and you know the last thing you want is for somebody to be sick. You don't want nobody getting sick in this situation, especially a child. Especially a child, because when a child ain't nothing they can do but lay on you and just be sick, and you got to carry them, and that's the worst thing in the world, because you can't do nothing for that child. So that's why in your pack you ought to be having some temper drops, you know, some medicine, you know, to try to just in case something happens like that, you can bring a fever down. Okay. Additionally, in determining adequate quantities, take the following into account: individual needs. That means when you try to decide how much water, think about individual needs. Somebody that's already sick gonna need more water than the person who's well. Okay, a heavier set person gonna probably need more water than a smaller person. Okay, children and nursing mothers and ill people are probably gonna need more water. You know, children can't stand being thirsty. You ever seen a child thirsty? They'll wear you out over just, I'm thirsty, just thirsty. Their whole life just changes over. So, you know, they're going to need some water, okay? Very high temperatures, you may need to double the amount of water, because in the heat, of course, you're going to expend more energy, and you're going to sweat more, so you're going to sweat out more water. And a medical emergency may require additional water. So think about, what if I need something happen? We may need more water. So that's why if you living in your house, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have a closet full of water. What difference do it make? You can use it in 6 months, then put the other water back. Okay, the second thing, of course, is food. If I'm on my disaster kit, keep at least a 3-day supply of non-perishable food on hand. Okay. Food should require no refrigeration, little preparation, little cooking, and minimal water. Pack a can of sterno if you must heat food. That sterno is a little small can stove. That's what I was talking about. Food should be compact and easy to carry. Avoid foods that make you thirsty. Okay, go out and get no salted peanuts and sunflower seeds and salt on. You know, don't get stuff. You want stuff that don't make you thirsty. Bunch of salt, yeah. Yeah, of course. I got one. His question was, what about having a little generator, the power generator? Yes, I would suggest that you do have one, but there's an easier way to have power for your basics, and because, you know, in the generator, you shouldn't use a generator to run no refrigerator, because you're gonna be burning up your gas. Basically, you know, a 12-volt solar lamp would be better, because it'll charge up phones, it'll do basic functions, 12-volt functions. Okay, but having a generator is good for emergency cases. You know, you need to start that up for, you know, you might need to use some power, some real power. So I would, you know, they got generators now. You can get one for $100, a good, nice generator. Okay, and that may not sound like nothing, but your neighbor, your neighbor gonna be living well because they go over with the generator running and able to do something versus you sitting there listening to them watch TV. You know, because if the phone system don't go down, then what do you need? You need to be able to charge your phones up. You know, that's an important thing. Okay, all right, that's a good question. Okay, so let's see. Avoid foods that make it. Okay, so what we need, you need to have canned meats, fruits, all canned stuff should be okay. I would just, you can't beat a canned good because it lasts forever. Okay, you might have some little spices or seasons. That's up to you. High energy foods such as peanut butter. They got giant cans of peanut butter. Just get it. Peanut butter, jellies, salt-free crackers, granola bars, trail mix. I mean, this is just common sense stuff. Special foods may be needed for infants. Think about that. If you got an infant, you may need special food. Don't underestimate the fact that kids ate food before they had baby food. You do know we all survived. I mean, if you old as me, they didn't have all that. You ate whatever they mashed up. You ate it, okay? And if it's a little baby infant, well, you do know you have one source that you can tap into. There's a source that we can tap into, okay? It ain't just for beauty. They were supposed to be work. Those work. All right. All right. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. She made a good point about a dehydrator. Somebody bought me a dehydrator. Who bought that dehydrator? Was that y'all? Yeah. And that's a great tool to have, actually, a dehydrator, because it really saves money, because a lot of stuff we have go bad, like fruit. Fruit will go bad, and vegetables you don't eat go bad. But you can dehydrate all of that stuff, and water brings it back. Hot water will bring most of it back, and most of the fruit won't taste the same. But if you dehydrate fruit, leave it. It's just need to eat it dehydrated. But vegetables can add water to and bring them back. So a dehydrator is a great thing to have, because how many of y'all know something that's this big can dehydrate to this big, and then it's less space to carry. You can vacuum pack it. It'll last. So that's very good to have a dehydrator. Very good. Plus, it'll save you on, and you can just do stuff you just waste, stuff you throw away. I mean, there's things you can dehydrate tomatoes, things you throw away that you don't think nothing about now. It'll be important then. One thing, you read your dehydrator, because you can't do all types of meats and stuff, because fats is not good, because fats can still go rancid even though it's dehydrated. So that's why they don't dehydrate a lot of meats other than beef, and they do hamburger. Even jerky can't last forever because it's got fat in it. But that's why. But I've seen the dude, he dehydrated a whole spaghetti dinner with the sauce mixed all together, everything. He cooked it and dehydrated the whole thing, and then he goes camping, and he went and just put water in it, and it brought it all back to life. And it was just, And when I've been hiking before when I was younger, and we had everything was dehydrated, and we had our little camping stove, and everybody had their own little stuff, and you had your own little food. If you eat it all, it's on you. But we made cakes out there, but everything was hydrated for everything. But when you put in the water, it comes back. So that's why dehydrated food is very good in the time of. It's lightweight too, because once you dehydrate the water out, stuff is real light. Water is what's heavy. So you can carry a whole lot of dehydrated food. So I would invest, even if y'all don't invest individually, y'all brothers and sisters, maybe you could use somebody else's, and y'all can use each other's. That'd be a good idea, But that's a good way to get your stuff without going out buying the expensive nature bars and all that stuff. You can literally just dehydrate your own stuff, especially vegetables and fruits. All right. Comfort. Okay, you do need to pack some comfort food. Why is that important? Stress. Stress. you you need, food is a stress reliever. That's why some of us overweight. I'm including myself. It's a stress reliever. It's very comforting. Okay, and it's a lot of stress. Just let your power go out. See how stressed you be. Just the power going out, you be stressed. I mean, you ever been in the? We've been. The power go out for. Don't let it go out for. You be like, it's getting dark. That power ain't came on. That power still ain't. And then it's nighttime, and it's hot. It's summertime. It's hot. The air don't work. Oh boy, you could be stressed out. So just be good. Your children are gonna need some comfort. Some sucker, some lie. Just give them candy. Don't. Just because it's a disaster don't mean we're a disaster. You shouldn't want that. Don't. A child is a child. They don't know. They still gonna want what they want, and it's gonna comfort them to have some. So you could get you some suckers, some lollipops, some cereals, or something just in a disaster. I mean, these are They have crank generators, but I don't know how much. I don't know. I've never priced them. The way I look at it is, you're gonna have to look at some discomfort. That's the whole point of it. We want to be as comfortable as we can, but it is what it is, basically. Maybe you run your generator in the day, get you some fan, and that's it. Or you just learn how to take layers off and sweat. The whole point. But the whole point is that's what's wrong with us. We're too comfortable. I mean, even now when the temperature went up a little bit, it's like, okay, turn the air on. But you got to realize you won't have those luxuries. Now that's where your stress comes from, because your life is not the same and you're irritated, and so you need to have something to, So that's a good idea. Now I hope y'all writing this stuff down. You are gonna need a copy of this DVD. I think it will be good to have it, but I want you to have your own notes. Okay, vitamins, because most of the food you pack won't be a vitamin packed food. So you may need to have some vitamins. Pack you some vitamins too. You can go get big canisters of vitamins now. Vitamin A, vitamin D. You can get as much of that as you want to. A can opener, not an electric can opener. Not a cheap can opener. No, y'all know, that's the most frustrating thing. Not a cheap one. You need to get you a military grade can opener and a good old school hand crank. Not the plastic crank. The old school that don't let out, but there's a military kind. If anybody's seen them, it's a little key and you put it. You put it. It's about this big. You can go on Amazon and get them. They probably about $1, maybe less than that. And it's like a little key with a little sharp. It's like look like an old bottle opener, but you put it in the can, go all the way around. It'll open the can. And we had those when we was out camping, and so those are good to have because you can get as many of those. They really don't mess up. They don't go bad. It takes a little longer, but at least you have something. Worst thing is have food, no can opener. You be there chopping food with a knife, trying to bust it open with a hammer. That's stressful. That's stressful. Eating is stressful. Okay. Okay. Now, emergency food rations or meals ready to eat are available for purchase. That are low in salt and provide a full day requirements of nutrients and have a shelf life of 10 years. That means right now, if you go on to Amazon.com, which is one of the biggest, it's a lot of places have them, but they have a lot of them. You can actually buy rations. You can buy good food. Some of the food is good you want to eat it, but you can buy you can get buckets of meals, and it has all types of meals in there, and you can get as much. But that stuff is kind of expensive, because it's literally a meal. Like a whole meal that's rationed, and you can get water like that too. But the point is, you want to be economical too. You don't have to do that, but if you want to, you can go on there and look at what the meals are. At least that's important. All right. The next part of that, the essential things we need in our disaster kit, of course, first aid. And I'm gonna run through this quick because most of this is common knowledge, and we got to move to try to get done. Of course, you need a first aid guide. That's usually on the top of the box of the first aid. A thermometer. Y'all listen to me. A thermometer, a tube of lubricant or something like petroleum, grease, petroleum jelly. That's really important, especially in the wintertime. If you ain't got no chapstick, we need that. A medicine dropper, antiseptic like peroxide or something. Assorted sizes of safety pins. Think about it. That's important. Sorted size of safety pins. You might have to pin a diaper. You might have to pin a cloth diaper on the child. Might not have a pamper. Okay. Sterile adhesive. In other words, that's like the medical tape. Um, Cleansing agent, um, which just looks like peroxide alcohol. Bandages and assortment sizes. Most of this is inside a good first aid kit. I would suggest you just invest in a good one. Okay, I mean, you could get the $10 one, but it's okay to get the $20 one. $20 one should have everything, scissors and everything. But I'm gonna read it off just in case you may have some of this stuff. Um, 2-inch and 3-inch sterile roller bandages, triangular bandages, scissors and tweezers. Okay, tweezers, needles. Um, and we were talking about hypodermic needles. You may need a couple in there. You never know what you need a needle for. Towelettes. Those little. I love those things. Those little. That'll wash a child up quick. That's a quick wash up right there. But if it ain't got no water, that's a quick wash up. Okay. And they sell boxes, a big boxes of those things. Latex gloves, very important. 2-inch and 4-inch gauze pads, sunscreen. I don't think we need that. Non-prescription drugs like aspirin, diarrhea medicine. Ain't that a big one? You need that because that's the last thing you want is to be having diarrhea and the water's off. Plus you're going to lose a lot of your food and all of that water you putting in your system. It'll dehydrate you, so you really don't want to have that. Y'all can cut that fan off back there now. Antacid for upset stomachs, because you do know you're going to be eating different types of food that you're not used to, and it may upset your stomach because these are foods that you ain't used to eating, every day. Syrup of basically cough syrup, and there's something called medical charcoal. It's for poison. The person swallow poison, so that'd be good to have in there, and also a laxative just in case a person gets bound up. You're bound up. You got to get that out. It's not good. Okay, so most of this is just in the basic first aid kit. Okay, all right. Let's go on to tools and any questions about that first aid kit. Let's go on to tools and supplies. Now, this is very important right here. I want y'all to really kind of listen on this one. These are things that I think are really going to be important. On your tool and supply list, you should have extra car keys and extra house keys. You need to have an extra set. Okay? Don't put your sets together. You want your sets to be in different places. Okay? Okay. You also need your checkbook, your ATM or credit card. You need $100 cash. I know it's very it's difficult to put that 100 up, but I mean, and think about this: you need at least $10 roll of quarters, because what if you have to go to the payphone? You may need to go to if you can find a payphone. You need to have, I mean, they're very extinct now, but hey, I know where some are now. I do know where 1 and 2 is. But you may need that because the cell phones may be down, so have some quarters. Of course, we talked about the matches and the flashlight. Also, that crank shortwave radio. You can go on Amazon and just look up emergency radio, and you'll find 20 or 30 of them for really inexpensive. They don't cost a lot of money. If something costs too much money, it's probably not a good survival thing. I mean, all of this stuff accumulated will cost money, but I mean, you shouldn't be spending $50 on one. I mean, I don't think stuff should cost that much. Another thing, when we get into the tools, I don't see it on here, but I'm gonna tell you, and take this the right way. Think for you men, you need a machete. You do need a machete. Machete is a versatile tool. Machete can cut down a small tree. I mean, you need stuff like that. I mean, what if because you got to think stuff like if you get off road and you are going into some woods or something, you need a machete. Machete does a lot of stuff. That's why it's one of them great tools they have in the jungle and stuff, because it's a versatile tool. It's rugged, it's rough, and also it's a protection tool. You use it for killing food or anything. You can, it has a lot of, and it's so durable. It's one of them tools that don't wear out. As long as you use it forever. So that's important. And they very expensive. You get a good one for about $20 over at Bass Pro Shop. I got one. Just let y'all know, I already got a lot of this stuff I'm telling y'all about. Because I was already thinking about stuff a long time ago, and I just let me tell y'all, now that I see stuff happening, you need to know some stuff. Okay, we already talked about a can opener and a utility knife. Don't be afraid to invest, you sisters. Don't think about a butcher knife. That is not practical. If you got to move somewhere, a knife with no sleeve on it ain't a practical. You've been stabbed yourself, cut yourself. The last thing you want is to cut yourself and get a deep cut somewhere. Get the knife that got the sheath that goes over it. Okay, you can go over. You go to Walmart. You go to the camping spot and get you a decent knife. That you got the sleeve on it. They usually have a compass on the other side. It's versatile. You get compass, and some of them have a hollow handle that's got like that chainsaw string where you can take it's a metal cable that you can use it to cut down a small branch and stuff. It's stuff inside of there. So think about a good utility knife. Don't just think, well, I got a knife. Don't think like that. You need a knife with a sheath on it. And if you get a machete, get one got a sheath on it, because you don't want to walk around and cut yourself. These are simple things. If you ever heard them guys go in the military and they get killed in the military, they weren't in war. They were just accidents, mistakes. That's what happens. A person don't think, and you don't think about those things, and those things end up getting hurting the person in the end. Okay, signal flares. Signal flares. Some very inexpensive but powerful is a whistle. A whistle. You and your family, you and your wife may have a cold. You hear me whistle 3 times or something. These are things you may have to talk about. Of course, duct tape. A couple of rolls of duct tape. Duct tape is the most versatile. Duct tape is the greatest invention ever. I'm serious. People, it's the greatest survival tool you ever have. Duct tape will do literally anything. You can make a knife out of duct tape. Duct tape is some tough stuff. So a couple of rolls of that will do you right. You have a hole in the window, you can put duct tape over it. You have a hole on your coat. Put duct tape over it. Duct tape's good stuff. It's good stuff. Duct tape over a bandage. It's some powerful stuff. Aluminum foil. It's good to have you some foil on hand to try to wrap up some food or something. Now you need these. You sisters need to know pliers. Do y'all know what pliers are? Okay. Pliers, wrench, monkey wrench. Okay. That's an adjustable wrench. You don't know, go to Home Depot. Go to Home Depot and ask somebody. Don't be afraid to ask. Don't get womanish on it. When it comes to surviving, you're gonna be glad you had that wrench. If something break down, you need to take something apart, that you already got it. One of the things that I have, you got that thing I bought my son a long time ago. You still got that? You carry it? Let me see that. He carries this thing everywhere. I think it's the second one I bought them. But this is something I suggest you invest in. This is it's a multi-tool, and this is actually a good one. I forgot where I got this at, but they got them everywhere. You can get them, but it's a if you fold it out, it's got pliers, it's got a knife, a file, a can opener, screwdrivers. Got some wire cutters, a little saw in there. So this is a real nice tool to have. So just go and you can go to Home Depot. Just ask for a multi-tool. The man in hardware will take you to one, and that would really, you need one of these in your emergency grab and go kit, because this is a very versatile tool to have. I'm glad you had that on you, son. And he carries that everywhere. If y'all young men do carry these, if you ever get stopped by the police, tell them you got this. Tell them this is in your pocket because this is a knife, and don't you pull it out. Just show them that it's there, and ask them what they want you to do. Young men, y'all need to know that. When you getting stopped by the police, don't move. No, seriously, that's coming. Y'all seeing it happen. They're executing people without no reason. That black woman they shot at the Capitol, they said something wrong. I found out wasn't nothing wrong with her. They killed that woman. She was a false flag. They killed that woman, and there was 2 people in the car they never told you about, but there was a news reporter reported 2 people in the car. They only said it was 1 person and her baby. Now they killed that woman. Another black man I just saw, he was on his wife called him, the police, because he was kind of off his medication, but he was okay. They walked right in and shot the man without and the police ain't getting no reprimands no more. It's becoming that way. So you got to think as a black man, know how to move. Teach your children how to move, because now they shooting and they justify homicide. Even if it's wrong, they covering it up now. So if you boys get stopped by the police, don't make sudden movements. Keep your hands out and talk straight. Don't get no chip on your shoulder. Don't think you cool, because I'm telling you, they can black your eye faster than you think, and then you ain't nothing nobody can do for you. And then if you get too wild, they draw on you and hit you with a taser or shoot you. They're doing that now. They're shooting people, okay? So that's just something, because I told my son he carries that, and it could be considered a concealed weapon because it is a knife. But you tell him, I remember I was going out to the range and got pulled over, and I said, wait, when he came to the window, I said, wait a minute. I said, I got a Smith & Wesson 40 Glock in his skull compartment, and on the back seat I said, now in this case back here is a AR-15. This is an M4 back here. I said, so you know that? He said, oh. He said, I'm glad you told me. Can you let me just see that gun in there? And he kept that. I didn't have to let him see nothing. Second, first, I didn't have to say who I was. I mean, I'm gonna teach y'all something about this Constitution too. But because I was in Crestwood, I'm like, the gun range out there. Don't buck that. I was very polite and cordial, but I took the clip out and let him hold. He was just holding the gun to make sure, till he ran my stuff, But the point was, I didn't have to show him nothing. Actually, I had to even tell him. But it's not against the law to carry a gun in your glove compartment. You don't have to have a concealed carry permit. I'm gonna talk about that when we get into this. Oh God, time's getting away. Okay. Needle and thread. Needle and thread. Very, very. You might have to stitch up your arm. Needle and thread comes in handy. Yeah, but if you ain't got nothing else, you got a big gash. You got to bite the pain. That's why you should have some antiseptic and some stuff. Paper, pencils. Also in your home, you ought to have this anyway. A basic fire extinguisher. You should have that anyway, because if it's in a disaster, because something happened, ain't no fireman coming. You're in there cooking something made a flame somewhere, didn't know how to control it. Ain't nobody coming, so you need to be able to put that fire out. Also, map of the area. Okay, that means you need to know what are the evacuation routes in my area, just in case we have to evacuate. What are the routes? There are evacuation routes everywhere around here. You need to know where yours are. Okay, a compass. A compass, and know how to read it. I mean, compasses are simple. It really is simple. It's always if whatever's pointing. But see, some people don't know their directions. You need to know your directions. You always need to know directions. That's the number one thing you learn is direction. So when because as long as you know where north is, and you got a compass, you straight. But the compass is gonna point north, but you may need to go southeast. So you still need to know. You need to, if you got a compass, not a digital compass, not a compass on your phone. They got an app. They got compasses. Don't rely on this stuff. This may not go back to the old school where a compass in your hand and you know how to point that compass and figure out where you are. And it's real simple. It'll take you, 15, 20 minutes. You'll figure out how to read a compass. Okay, you need to get you some paper cups. Paper cups, plates. If you're in your house, that's stuff you should have on hand. Why is that important? Because you don't want to waste no water. Washing no dishes. You want to preserve your water so you can buy 200-300 plates and put them up and never touch them. I mean, styrofoam lasts for 10,000 years. You never got to do nothing styrofoam, and they'll be there. But you don't want to waste water doing a whole lot of unnecessary plate washing and cups and stuff. Okay, I already said that. And okay, I already talked about the tent or the rain fly. Okay, sanitation. You need to make sure you got some soap, hand soap. Bars of soap. Okay, liquid detergent, because you might have to wash out your clothes. Being hygiene is important. Staying clean will keep you. It even make you feel better. That's why, you know what the first thing that showed up in New Orleans was that Tide truck. You know that Tide truck that go around washing to help you wash your clothes? That's one of the first things that shows up in the disaster, because it just makes people feel better. You know how good you feel to put on clean clothes? You've been in your dirty clothes, sweating. Oh, just to show up and have clean clothes to put on and clean, fresh socks, it boosts your morale. So, have you some detergent, some toilet paper. Of course, we talked about that. Toilet paper, towel paper. Of course, we talked about the personal hygiene items and feminine supplies. Deodorant, please. And that's under the same disaster. Yeah, we're still talking about tools and supplies. This is just another, might as well say a part B called sanitation, where you want to have your deodorants, and deodorant lasts forever. Put it up, get you a couple of things and put it away, and you can have some deodorant. Amen. How many of y'all know that's stressful? You run around people's arms stinking, and you're like, dude, this is hot. I'm hungry and tired, and we going through, and here you already have no deodorant. So that's important. Because and when you survive, what's the worst? You want to cut you already gonna be stressed out. You want to cut down as much stress as you can, and just those little bitty things. You know how you walking and you lean over and you like, man, the deodorant smell good. That's a nice smell. Make you feel better. But you ever walked in there like, dang, you don't want to be around yourself. So it's important to have that put over to the side. Yes. Yeah, that's good too. Those things I already have, I think, wrapped in plastic and stuff, and yeah, you put those up and just put those in a case. Yeah, have you some, which I was going to get to that, toothbrushes and toothpaste. Put it to the side. You ain't got to bother it. Put it to the side, yeah. Yeah. Get you a little pack, a feminine pack. Call it a feminine pack. Your pack should be bigger than that if you packing some stuff. Okay, I'm saying, yeah, just your little bug out pack. That's the good. But I'm saying, in your house, you need to have some supplies, okay, of stuff. Disinfectant. Have you some bleach and all you need is some bleach. That's all you need. Bleach is the greatest invention. I'm telling you, people don't know it's the cheapest and greatest invention ever invented. Bleach kills just about everything. It's very versatile, and that's what you need in a time where there's limited water, because bleach will don't rely on that hand sanitizer stuff. That stuff is, that's just, get the bleach out. There's a guy, he's one of them crocodile catchers down there in Louisiana, and because once they get through they actually use that raw chicken, and this is smelly and dealing with them animals. He actually puts bleach in his bath water. And so bleach it won't kill you. It's a good cleansing agent, but have some bleach on hand, okay? Yeah, sanitize water with it. A lot of things happen with bleach. Okay, all right. Now that's the sanitation part. Now we're gonna go on to what did I say? We kind of covered. Okay, special item. That's what it is. All right. Okay, special. Let me say this real quick. This goes with the aftermath. After something's happened, now we need to. What do we do? Okay. The first thing, of course, after something happened is safety. Consider, you need to check your house. Gas leaks, contaminated water, contaminated food, smoldering fires, power lines down. See, these are things you just need to check after to make sure. What if a power line's down? You want to know. You need to know that if you're a child, you need to know not to let them go in the backyard or whatever. If the house is damaged, water damage, wet appliances, is the sewer system working? Spilled medicine, spilled chemicals, structural damage. So basically, after disaster, you assess your surroundings to see if there's any hazards around you. Number two is physical. Assess the health of your family. Has anybody got infections? What about tetanus shots? Anybody got lingering bruises or breathing problems? These are things, I mean, y'all know during a disaster, something might have happened to a person, and you need to check that out right away, because that's something you get on top of, because something you don't want things to linger. You know, you might have to survive for days. You want to make sure everybody is straight, okay? Number 3 is assistance. What about, do you have your insurance records for if you got damage? Do you know or have you contacted, or do you know where the Red Cross or the Salvation Army is? You know, those people show up during disasters. What about religious organizations, churches? Because churches come out and help during disasters. In your area, I know you have a church here, but what about where you live? Do you know, can you go there? Do you know if they have something? You know, you have to know how to get there. Oh, if that's a place you need to go. Of course, you're going to be looking for the government to step in, but I wouldn't hold my breath right away. Number 4 is emotional well-being. Okay, so it means monitor the well-being of your family and yourself, you know, because, you know, it's trauma and shock. You know, stuff happens, you know. And also, if it's a situation where you have to stay in your house in a survival mode, try to maintain normalcy, as much normalcy as you can. You know, if the children go to school at them times, read books to them. Do something to try to stay normal if you can. You know, if you eat at a certain time, try to eat at that time. Try to do things, because what it does, it gives the people, it takes away a lot of the anxiety, because you still knowing what's coming next is normal. Yes. Yeah, you know, stuff to be occupied with, you know, after you get your vital stuff together, you know. Yes. Number 1 was safety. What's the safety? Which is just assess your environment. Number 5 is, after you do all of those, can I assist others? You know, we Christians, you know, we need to go out there and find out who's hurt, who need help up the street. You know, there's people, old folk. Think about the old people in your community. You know, old people live somewhere. They're gonna need a lot of help. You know, so that after you and your family is straight, what's gonna be the greatest blessing? Now I can be a blessing because I was prepared. So I got to go see if Miss Mark is still over. Go find out, you know, see if they need some help. See if they got any food or water, something you can help them with. You don't know. That's when you go out into the community. After your stuff is straight, you go out, you know, and try to find if you can be a blessing for other people. I think that's the only reason we should be there. Why wouldn't? That's why you want to know why you Christians are in disasters. That's why we need to be there. Who else is going to actually care about people? Okay. Can you provide water, food, and emergency supplies for others? Can you help them with monetary support? That's important. Okay. All right. Now we go on to special items. We'll try to get done quick. Okay. Include family. Included in your special items is going to be your family records. Keep these in a waterproof container. You can do that now. You don't have to wait. Put those and just put them in a waterproof container. Can also store family information on a CD, a DVD, or a flip drive. You know, you can, it'd be good to copy your family information on something, on a computer drive. That'd be important for later. What do you put on there? Important telephone numbers. Okay, these are bank account and credit card numbers, company account numbers, login IDs and passwords, driver license. Insurance, inventory of household goods and stuff. Like if you have insurance claims, you know, you got to make an inventory of your goods. That should be inside of a safe place. So if you need to get paid for that, then you have a list of what's there and what's not there. Family records, birth, marriage, death certificates. Please, you should already have those in a safe place. We have I actually have a gun safe, a real good gun safe. A standing gun safe, stands up pretty high, and we have our passports in there and our different records and stuff. We actually gonna put more stuff in there because that's very important stuff. That shouldn't even be laid around anyway. You know, put that up. Even in case of a fire, those things should be safe. So I have a gun safe that has a fire. It's fireproof. Yeah. So, and when we talk about firearms, think about investing in a safe, a gun safe. You know, don't leave where we're talking about that. Okay, family records, passports, social security cards, immunization records. Those go in the safe or in a safe place. Photos of family members. How many of y'all know that's a big loss if you lose your pictures? That's a big loss. Oh, that's a bad feeling when you lose your pictures. Wills, insurance policies, contracts, deeds, financial records, $100 cash in small bills, and I told you about the quarters. You know, if you can put up $100 and not mess with it and have your quarters, that's good. Just to leave it there. I know, well, it's difficult, but just try it. You know, if you can't put 100, put something. Don't You ain't got to go put $20 up. At least it's something. Emergency money is good to have. You know, and also something good to have put up is a digital camera, because you may need to take pictures of the damage of your house. You know, there may be things you need to take pictures for. Okay, special items also, and some family members may have special needs, is for a baby. Do they have medications? They need to be, those are special items. Formulas, bottles, okay, diapers, powdered milk. Those are things that are special items. For adults, extra eyeglasses. What persons lose their glasses or contact lenses? You need to have some of those put up. Prescription drugs like insulin. A lot of those older people died in New Orleans because they didn't have insulin. They died of diabetic. What happened? Was diabetic coma, shock, or yeah, they died. A lot of them died for just to like they was screaming about not having insulin because they came out of their house in gowns and stuff with no insulin. Think about how miserable it is to die just because they didn't have no extra supply of insulin. You know, babies. A lot of little babies died too because they didn't have this basic medicine for them children. And water was a big thing. A lot of those children were dehydrated. Dentures, if you have dentures, and have some extra, what really have the stuff you need to take care of them. You know, you might need, dentures have to be taken care of. So, all right, okay. Let's see. The sixth thing on our disaster kit is clothing and bedding. Right, clothing and bedding. So, what do I need in my house? What do I need to put up? Leave it alone. A change of clothes for both warm and cold weather. Okay, so you need to change of clothes for both warm and cold weather. Rain gear, blankets, or sleeping bags. Sleeping bags are always good to have anyway. It's probably an excellent thing to have is a sleeping bag, just in case because you can sleep in the house if it get cold and you got to think ain't no furnace, ain't no heat. You got to think about layers, layers of stuff. You put them 2 kids in that sleeping bag and they body heat, they straight. You got to think about that, Blankets or sleeping bags, sturdy shoes, or water-resistant boots, we talked about that. Thermal underwear. Those are long johns. Something that keeps you warm, hats and gloves and sunglasses. That's important too, especially in the winter when it's cold, but it snows out, but it's sunny. You can get snow blind when you gotta go out somewhere. You need sunglasses. Let's see. Okay, suggestions and reminders. Store your disaster kit in a handy place known to all the family members. So all the family members should know what a kit is. Also, keep a small version of the supplies in each car, like the flares and the jumper cables, the shovels, the salt, stuff like that. Keep that in the car. Some of it, and go over the family requirements for your disaster kit on a yearly basis. All right. Now, I don't really have time to do much else, but talk about one thing I will talk about real quick is I want everybody to do this. I want you to go on Amazon.com and look up hydroponic kit. Hydro, HYDROPONIC kit. Hydroponic kit. The one that my daughter has is about, I think it was like $40. Actually, it's really just a tote, like a Walmart tote. And but this kit comes, they already did the holes in it and everything. And it comes with everything you need to start. Oh, that was what I want to say too. You must invest in a seed bank. Seed, S-E-E-D, seed bank. You need emergency seeds on hand. Okay, that means now we bought some we got thousands of seeds for, I think it was no more than, I paid what, $30, and then you get your hydroponic kit, which is about $40. And a hydroponic kit is just grows under a light, like a fluorescent. Actually, we have a light like this, and right now stuff is growing under a light. You got stuff already sprouting. That is food that will grow. You can put it in your closet and leave it alone, because as long as you put the hydroponic minerals in there, which cost about $10, you can keep growing food, keep growing vegetables in there. That stuff will come in very handy. They even have it where you can just take a 12-volt solar. You can take a solar supply, if the power go out, still run your light and run your pump. It's a little small pump that comes with it, but it's about $40, and you can start, literally growing vegetables with non-hybrid, non-GMO seeds. These are seeds that hasn't been, all the seeds she got, my daughter has, they haven't been genetically modified, and it's not hybrid seeds. These are fresh seeds. And then the thing about those kind of seeds is those seeds make seeds. So it's a non-stop thing, okay? And we're really excited about this, because I'm really shocked how it's growing in the house the way it is. It's growing pretty well. My daughter, she's doing a good job. She's really took into it. So especially that's something good for your child. Get them involved in it, because a child will sit there and do that. They'll monitor that. You may not, but a child would do it. You would do it when you start seeing stuff come off of it. Like my daughter, when I planted them cucumbers, I didn't pay no attention until I started seeing them come out. I started seeing how many came off of there. I said, all of that came off of this couple of seeds. So that's very important. The reason why I'm telling you to get a hydroponic is because you can't rely on outside. Also, if you plant something outside, I always think about somebody could just take it. So you got your hydroponic set up in the house, I heard somebody stole your tomato. You was hurt, wasn't you? That's really a vegetable thief. It's cold. Yeah, but that's the reason why I thought about hydroponics, because I know people. I know the mind of people. Like, man, it's a tomato growing there. I'm hungry. I'm getting that. How you gonna stop me from getting this? Can you even blame them? They gonna come in your yard and get that. So, you be shooting it out over a green bean. So it's better. You can. I want y'all to try this seriously. You can grow this in your house. You really can, and it works well. And it's just like stuff outside. It really works well. So this is a good way to get your children involved in just science. Some biology. They learn how to take care of themselves and survive in school. And another thing, me and my wife was watching something yesterday, and they said that the black people are the fastest growing homeschool population. It's black people. Now, I'm pulling even people that ain't Christians. The people who are not Christians that got upset because when they pulled their kids out, they found that it was only Christian curriculum. So now they're actually writing other homeschool curriculum, not Christian curriculum, because so many people know public school is a death trap. It's made to really railroad our boys to prison. It's really a railroad thing now. So they said we the fastest growing homeschool. And don't feel bad if you can't do it. It's not about you can't do it. That's understandable. But, pray about it. Maybe one day you'll be able to do that. But it is good because now employers want homeschool people. They want homeschool people. I'm telling you, because they know they're more respectful. They actually know more, because public school don't train you to think. Homeschool kids are very mature. So they actually looking for homeschool. I'm telling you, it's a trip. They look for homeschool children. You don't have as many problems as these kids is under peer pressure all the time. They won't be cool. So it's very good to think about that. If you can't, don't try to go do something you can't do. A lot of y'all know, y'all saw us doing it. Y'all thought, well, I'm gonna do it. It's a dedicated commitment, a big commitment. And if you can't do it, just don't feel bad about it. Just get involved in your children's school. Get involved in their work. You don't have to actually do that. If you're involved parent, they're not going to label or mess up your child because you're involved. Okay? All right. Okay. So real quick, just to talk about a couple other things before we go. It's actually almost 1:30, which we're doing really pretty good on time. See, we would have broke for lunch if we wasn't fasting. Then y'all would have been feeling better. But uh, but anyway, another thing I want to talk about that put a number 4 topic to a number 4 topic. If anything that I haven't, if you want to ask a question, please ask your question about it, because I'm going so fast. I'm trying to just get through, to. But if you do have a question, don't hesitate. Whatever we're talking about, any question is not off limits. I want you to leave here with information. But the number 4 is safety protection. Did I already say that? So what was on number 2? We're on number 3. Okay, so number 3 is okay. So that's personal protection. That's what I want to get to. Personal protection. Now, this is actually, how do I protect my family and my home? Okay, how do I protect my family and my property? Let's say it like that, because property goes more than just a house. It's talking about, like, what if you have to go emergency and you go with your backpack? How do you protect yourself? Because, like I said, people gonna be, looking at what you have, and not only just in an emergency situation, even now. They was talking about how home invasions are up big time. People just running in people's houses and stuff. So there's a lot of stuff happening that you have to be able to protect yourself. And I told you, I do believe that we are supposed to protect ourselves. I do believe that. I believe the Bible has precedence for that. And I don't believe we go out there and go to war for people, and we don't go looking for nothing, and we don't kill folk. And I don't believe that we resist when it's a biblical thing. There's times that if it's time to die, you die. You lay your life down. That's just being a Christian. But then there are times that I know that just the enemy. There's times he's just, trying to mess with your children or something. So, but most of what we do for protection is basically to ward off. Okay, so we're not, in other words, we're looking to make a person know, don't you do this. Okay, so you have to do what's comfortable for you, okay, when it comes to personal protection. Now, because I have 2 sons, and my wife already, because at one time she was a correction officer, she was familiar with a gun, and I've always had guns, and I got sons that I'm training. I want them to learn how to hunt, and I don't suggest you get your children, they don't have guns. Don't buy your child a gun. They don't need no gun. But they need to be, your older ones should be trained, can be trained. Let me say it like that. That's up to you. You don't feel comfortable, don't do it. If you don't feel comfortable. If you don't think your child's mature, don't do it, But mine are, I think, are mature enough to, you take them to the range and you let them, first of all, if that's something you want, if you feel comfortable with it, then you go to the range. Now, what you need to do, I don't have the number with me, but you can go down to Stewart's Pawn Shop on Broadway and go in there. They got a gun dealer there, and he'll tell you about, and tell him you want to get a concealed carry permit. They got a guy, he's a retired sheriff called Captain Emery, that he actually does the classes out at his house, and he takes about 6 people at a time, and you can get your carry permit there, and they'll teach you about firearms and teach you what would be good for you if that's what you want to do, and if you want that, then you have your carry permit. If you're a lady, I would suggest you have a carry permit. The reason why is because if you do, you're going to mainly have something in your purse, and they don't suggest actually that a woman carries a gun in her purse. It's really not a good idea, because you can't even find your lipstick. That you don't want to be fumbling around. So they have ways that you carry if you're going to do that. And we as black people, I even had to put something out about it, that we need to stop being afraid. Guns are not bad, okay? It's not bad. It's just that they always show it with bad connotations, with thugs shooting and killing and robbing, okay? But guns are a Second Amendment right that keeps, it's really supposed to keep the government from becoming tyrants like they're doing now. So, it's not bad. If you think a gun is bad, go out there and let a gang run up on you and see how bad a gun is if you got one. They're gonna stop. They're gonna stop in their tracks, because it's a deterrent. That's the word I'm looking for, a deterrent, okay? So plus you want to be able to protect your family. I talked to you men about that, protect your family. So who had a question before? Yeah. Yeah, actually there are no um, different states have different laws. Kentucky is a real, they call us like a A+ state when it comes to guns, because we a gun state, so it's not a big deal here. There are some states like Chicago, Illinois, you're in trouble if you even do that, or like California, those states they're not they real strict on that. But the point I'm making is in this state it's a real good state when it comes to firearms. It is not against the law to own a gun. It's your Second Amendment right. You have the Second Amendment says you have the right to bear arms. The government shall not restrict your right to bear arms. Did you know even right now? Because I have one. I have a holster that's it's called open carry, and you actually can see the gun, which is not good to do. You don't want that. But you can right now without a concealed carry, you could put a gun on and walk down the street and walk up on police and they couldn't do anything to you. It wouldn't be good because now they know you got a gun and they're gonna mess with you anyway but you have a right. They can't even stop you and search you. Some of y'all young guys need to know, and this is the stuff that I've learned, and I've said, boy, when I was in the street, how many cases did we get because we didn't know? Now you would know because you don't understand what I mean, how they run up, jump out on you. We didn't even know. They had no right to go in our pocket. They had no right. Did you know they have no right to ask you for your ID if you ain't done nothing wrong? They have no right to ask you for nothing. You don't have to say nothing. If you walking down the street or you doing something, they run up on you. You don't have to tell them who you are. You ain't got to say nothing. If you haven't done anything wrong, if there's no crime, then they have no right to stop you. The police is not your authority. You are their boss. They're not your authority. So basically, you don't have to say anything. So I would suggest you go on YouTube and look up your constitutional rights, and you'll see videos where people got their phone cameras and they're getting stopped and they tell the police, no, I ain't give you my name. No, I'm not telling you who I am. No, you can't search my car. Do not submit to searches. Now the point is the police can do a lot of things. Let's say if they pull you over and they say, now this happened to me years when I was in the streets. We didn't even know no better. They just go all in our car. We didn't even, that's how you catch your cases. I call cases just because I let them go. Didn't know not to tell. Didn't know to say no, that it was illegal. And if I would, but see but that's why they always asked you. You know that they ask you, can I go? Can I search your car? Can I go? And you'll usually say yeah because you're scared, and then but you'll be like, no, I don't submit to any searches and seizures at all. Then once you say no, if they go in there and find something, then because you already told them, it's illegal for them to use it against you. How many brothers sitting in prison because they didn't know that one thing? I remember being out here just up the street where I grew up at. They run up on us and get on the car, and we have to, strip. They searching us, and we ain't done nothing, and that was a violation of our rights. They have no right to. It's called molest. They have no right to molest you, and they're not sexually. It means to stop you. It means to stop you, to hinder you from going on your way. And when they run up on you and you say, no, I'm not giving you my name. If you didn't do nothing, if you done something, you better cooperate. But if you didn't do anything wrong, then you say, no, I'm not telling you to do that because you don't have enough. Some of you young guys ain't got enough sense to do that. You don't know the law enough to even talk to them like that. But basically, you could just say, no, I'm not giving you my name. And what do you need it for? You don't need it for anything. Have I done something wrong? And the only thing you say, are you detaining me? Am I being detained? And they'll keep talking to try to get you to, am I being detained? They'll have to tell you, no, you're not being detained. Well, then can I go? That's all you say. Am I being detained? Well, can I go? They can't, legally, they can't stop you. But usually they made us think they could do stuff they couldn't do. And many times they going in our pocket. They have no right to go in your pocket. We ain't done nothing. Even if they say somebody called on you, that don't mean nothing. They'll say, well, we had a call. That don't mean, well, are you arresting me? Because once they arrest you, then they can do stuff. But they didn't have no reason to arrest you, so they have no reason to stop you. And if they do stop you, they violating your rights. And every young black man, and every young black man should know the Constitution, know your rights. Because it's the difference literally with us, which is the difference between life and death with us. If you don't know your rights, if you don't know how to respond, you literally, because when they see that you are educated, they handle you differently. But when if you young guys who think y'all cool and talk out thug, them is the ones they like. They know you don't know nothing. And you just walk around with chip on your shoulder because you ain't got no daddy, and you walk around here angry, and we know we gonna get to you, and we gonna make you mad, and then we gonna have a reason to choke you and beat you or shoot you or stun you or tase you because you don't know no better. But when you stand there and talk with you know, officer, what about, is there a crime? Has I done anything wrong? You ask them questions. There was a guy walking down the street with an assault rifle, and they couldn't stop him. They tried to ask him what his name. He said, I don't have to give you my name. I'll tell you nothing. It was a black guy. So I don't have to tell you nothing. And they were so angry that he knew that I don't got to tell y'all nothing. Let me see your gun. No, I ain't got to let you see nothing. My gun is not bothering nobody. I mean, he had a gun out, open, carry, you know. So the point is that because we don't know the law, the prisons are filling up. That's why none of us was taught about law in school. No black man can say they learned about law. Because if you learned about law, you'd have known, you'd have been a smarter criminal. Just like the white people are smarter criminals. Why you think they get away with so much? Because they know the law. White boys do more drugs, got more drugs than anybody, but when they get pulled over, they know what they can do and what they can't do. No, you can't search my car. No, I don't submit to no searches. So what did I do? That's why the first thing you ask, what did I do? What did you stop me for? There has to be, if they ain't got no, well, I just want to see who you are. You ain't got no reason to see who I am. You don't have no reason to do that. But the point is, you know the law before you do that. So we're gonna talk. I think I'm gonna have to teach on that. To teach, especially you young black men period, about the law. It's very important to know. Okay, it'll save you. Okay, let me get done. Now, like I said, when it comes to personal protection, some of you all may feel better with a taser, pepper spray, but you need something. I'm telling you, you need something, because if something happens, you're going to be a victim. What people don't factor in is there's a whole lot of little young, on pill, crazy little dudes that waiting on the devil's pie. They're waiting on this. They're waiting on, they want chaos. They have already started this generation up for anarchy. Those are going to be the ones that form gangs and go rob and take from people who are victims. That's why they're trying to disarm the society. So you need to be able to, not only to have to protect disaster stuff, but to keep it. Because once people are hungry, if this thing go down, stuff happen, and people are hungry, you ain't gonna be off limits. So you're gonna have to be able to protect your stuff. The point is not necessarily the stuff. As Christians, we don't fight over stuff. The Bible says if somebody asks you for your coat, give them your cloak too. We don't worry about that. But bodily harming my children and my wife, trying to molest or rape that's not gonna happen. That's just not gonna happen. I'm gonna shoot you and repent. That's not gonna happen. You know, I'm just telling you the truth. You're not gonna rape my daughter and rape my wife. I'm just gonna shoot you and just repent. I go to jail and go to heaven, but you gon' I can't let you do that. You know. So no man would. The Bible even says if a man found another man in the bed with his wife, you can't blame him for what he'll do. So how bad is it if a man rape a man's wife? What would he do? You're gonna stop that man, okay? So anyway, so you do need to be able to. You're not worrying about the stuff. You're worrying about stopping fools that's gonna go beyond taking stuff and go into bodily harm. And and one of the things I learned that sometimes weapons will just back a person up. I remember years ago I was going to whoop a dude, and he knew it. I was going to whoop. I mean, I was seriously going to whoop this dude. He pulled out a knife, something simple as a knife, and it made me think. It was a little knife, like a little bitty pocket knife, but that was enough to make me think. Like, if I grab him and he grabbed me wrong and he can poke me with this knife. I thought about that. That made me upset. I let him leave alone. We was in jail. He had I don't know how he got this knife in jail, but he had a knife in jail. And I said, but it made me think. Just that one weapon made me think, it may not work out for you. You know, it may not work out. You're taking a risk. That's why if you notice, and I'm serious, you'll see on some of these shows, even on YouTube, you'll see how these criminals, they be on the closed circuit cameras, and they'll be bold, and then somebody start shooting back at them, and then they running and scared. Because you bold as long as you got a victim. But when a victim empowers themselves, then it's like they turn the tables on them. Okay? So, you know, you got to realize that's what you're going to have to worry about. People who are idiots, who are ignorant, who are just out to do wrong because they can get away with it. See, you got to realize the only thing that's stopping people from doing stuff is their police. If there wasn't no police, people would do what they want to do, and you don't know what people think about all the time. It could be somebody watching you that want you and be like, I can't do it, boy. These depraved cats think that way. Oh, boy, I wish there wasn't no police. I do this. So you got to know that. So you need to think about what do you need to protect yourself. Okay? Now, for myself and my life, because my family is big, you know, I felt that I have sons, and we're going to do some hunting too. So I bought enough because I want them to be able to handle themselves. If something happened with me, see, it ain't just me and my wife. They have to protect their sisters, you know. And even if something happened to me, these guys got to go into mode. So I want them to have. They'll have individual stuff. They know what we got. They know what's happening. So I was feeling good about them being able to handle themselves in the event. They don't play with them. They don't even see them. My stuff stays locked up. I don't suggest you buy nothing if you ain't gonna lock it up. It's silly to have stuff like that around children, but don't be afraid of it if you lock it up with a gun lock. I don't believe in locking my gun. That's silly. Put a gun lock on the gun. You just put it in something like a safe and you lock the safe. You keep the safe locked. Don't lock it in your room because kids can pick a lock and go in the room, especially older kids. Boys are fascinated with guns. You need to know that. Guns fascinate a boy. That's why they shoot themselves all the time. So you need to, no, serious. Boys are fascinated because we grew up with guns. We grew up looking at guns. But the reason why they like that because nobody trained them. They need to know about a gun. It was good that my wife, when she was a correctional officer, she had to train with a gun. So she had to go down and she had to pass tests and have so many hours shooting a gun. So she wasn't scared of it. And it was good because it's hard to teach somebody, they're scared of the gun, being shot something in the air. So, and we went to the range and I went took her to see if she really could shoot. She could shoot. So, which made me feel good. So I went and bought her 9mm like mine, but mine is a 40. So, but she got something. Just to let y'all know, just somebody try something. She got something too. So I bought some other stuff because I thought about, hunting too. So I got a Mossberg shotgun for if I have to hunt. But also the best defense for a home is a shotgun. You can't beat it because a shotgun you can just aim it in any direction and shoot. It's gonna hit something. Buckshots hit something. I mean, that's why police, if you see they carry tactical, it's called tactical shotgun. But a shotgun that's why if you go out to the country, everybody got shotguns because they know that's the easiest thing you ain't gonna miss. You ain't gonna miss. So from here to that door, if you shoot from here to that door, you got this much. It's about that big. You're gonna be. I mean, you can't. If you miss that, you just need to not shoot no gun. But it's a real tack. Plus, it's also good. It's a hunting weapon too. You can really find some stuff. You can shoot a lot of different things with a shotgun. Shoots different ammunition. Okay. So, but I don't suggest you females get that because a shotgun if you ain't used to it, it can knock you down. I was out to the range and it was knocking me. So it's pretty powerful. But get something you're comfortable with. If you do get something you're comfortable with. One of the stories that I heard that made me know that it was right was it was a woman that this was on the news. A man kicked in her door and she grabbed her daughter. She ran up to the attic and this guy was coming and he had a knife or something and she had a gun and she shot that guy 6 times and he still didn't die. But he was still coming and that was the argument they were saying about why do you only need 7 bullets? This big gun debate was only 7 bullets in the clip. Well, they like, this woman emptied 6 shots in her revolver in this guy, and he still was coming. So, you know, the point is she needed a few more or be a better aim. You know, I'm just keeping it real with you. So, you know, but then there was another thing where a guy tried to rape an old lady, and she had that gun, and she missed him, but it scared him so bad because you don't expect it. People like victims. They like victims. You know, so some of you brothers, I don't know if you got records or something, you might need to check if it's important. You know, you might need to check about that. You know, because I know, you know, you can get it. If your wife can get it, that's fine. But if you know, if you got any probation saying you can't be around weapons, that's something you got to think about. But because they don't need to breaking the law, getting in trouble. The point is, that's why you try to get your record expunged, try to do things to get that stuff off of you. That's why they do that to us black boys, because they mess our life up so we can't be citizens. We don't have the rights of other citizens. How you gonna stop me from getting a gun? Everybody else got them because I got a record. See, that's why they do that. So then you defenseless. You know what I mean? So anyway, so that's something that you got to go find out. What I would suggest you do is go to, you can go to a gun range, like a good one, a real good indoor one is out there in Crestwood called Open Range. It's a little pricey, but for your first time, I would go there because you can rent a gun. You can rent a gun to shoot it and find out how it feels, because different guns are different, you know. Yeah, and it's real good. They actually teach you, show you. Yeah, so yeah, it's real good. I mean, and that's something. Then you go out to some of the gun ranges I go to. You got to go out there and shoot and learn. But especially Knob Creek, which is a redneck range, you know. But it's an outdoor range, but you can shoot just about anything out there, you know. But you do, if you are thinking about it, then that's what I would suggest. Go out to Open Range, and they will walk you through, and they make you read off all of the safety requirements, and they more safe, you know, the ear protection, eye protection, and then you get to shoot. If you get a gun that you can shoot that you feel comfortable with, because that's the most important thing about a weapon is if it's comfortable to you, then you can ask them about concealed carry, because you can get your concealed carry permit with them too. So this is just something if that's what you're thinking about. But what I would suggest is you have some way to protect your family. I'm serious. The reason why I'm telling y'all this, because I was a true thug in my heart. I was true. I'm serious. I know what I would have did if I had an opportunity and it was no. I remember what we used to do when it was a blackout. I don't know if y'all remember when a blackout, all the lights go, everybody power go out, street lights out. That was like, boy, that was like open season. That was like love. We were like, man, you know what we can do in a blackout? We can do so much. Ain't no alarms on, ain't no nothing. People's houses, everybody's dark. I mean, it was a lot of things that were happening, and we did a lot of stuff in the dark. So what I'm saying is, if it comes down to a situation, you need to be able to deter anybody from doing something to your family, okay? And that's why I said you do need to train, get all the safety understanding you can, because but in an event that you need it, it'll be great that you have it. And if you're a man, don't just don't train yourself, and don't train your wife. That's not a good idea. Even though you're thinking I'm gonna be the protector, well, she may need to protect herself, and usually she's always with the children. So who needs to really know more? It's the one that's got the children that needs to know more, and women are probably more protective when it comes to that. So, don't go get no bazooka, but get something, it don't have to be nothing big. I know people see, because, the gun culture, you fascinated with big guns, you don't need that. Anything would deter a person, just because it's a thought of danger. That person figures this is dangerous now. At first, I was thinking about what I was getting ready to get out of it. Now, I could literally lose my life. That makes a person think twice, okay? And I would suggest, if you're a single female, if you're a single woman, I would suggest you try to get a concealed permit. You learn to shoot and get a concealed permit. Get you a 380. 380 is a real small, it's not a small gun. Well, it's kind of small, but it's a little bit under 9mm, but it's small, compact little gun. You have it right, you have it in your pocket. you know, something. But you need something. If I was a single woman, I would, in this culture, in this day and age, I would have something like that. I really would, because it's just people. This internet has turned people into pornography zombies, and people are doing some of the most weirdest stuff, and you don't want to be prey. Okay, so I would try to have something. Okay, I will leave that up to you. If I don't want to tell y'all what to do in that area, to each his own. But if you do something, do it safely. Really get information and go practice. The gun don't do you no good if you can't hit nothing. You practice. Know how to shoot it. Know how to use it. Don't be fumbling around and don't know how to cock it. You know, that's important too. If you're a woman and you don't know how to pull the hammer back, you don't know how to cock it, well, then it ain't gonna do you no good. So you gotta learn, okay? So when you go to the gun range, you'll learn all those things, okay? Also, if in the meantime, you know, if you're a woman, that's why I told my daughter, get you some pepper spray. She has pepper spray. Get something as a female. You know, have something on your body to deter somebody if they try to do something to you. It's just wisdom. That's just wisdom. Nobody needs this stuff till they need it. I mean, if you need it, you're gonna be, thank you, Pastor Steve. Because if I would, well, yeah, but then I don't want you to talk about I didn't prepare. Okay, well, I told you, you have something. All right. So I think that's the last thing we're gonna talk about. Any questions or comments, real quick, on anything? Yes. I was talking about a tarp, but you talking about they do have small, inexpensive rafts that can fold up. Yeah, I mean, because in this area, floods are is a major factor in this area. It could literally flood if it ever got that bad. Pray it don't. A flood is the greatest damage to me of anything. It's just totally, nothing can stop water. Nothing can stop water. And once water touches the inside of a building, whatever it touches, it's there. It's over. You know, carpet, flooring, everything. Yeah. It's called a ferro rod. Ferro rod. That's a very important thing to try to get a hold of. Any more questions? Any more questions about any part? I want you to feel comfortable. Now, yeah. You can go online. You can go online on go on our city's website, or just look up evacuation plan Jefferson County, and that stuff will come up. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's still. I think that's, yeah. I think, see, that's a state thing. Yeah. Well, federal, but these are state. These are state permits. I mean, we're regulated by Kentucky. It's not regulated by the government. That's why different states have different gun laws, because they regulate themselves. And you better believe the NIA ain't gonna let nobody stop no gun stuff, because that's why they the ones fighting that. That's what Obama and them trying to take away, is the guns. Yeah. Well, really, no. Well, see, that's federal. That's when you get a federal license, and that's where you can go state wherever. But mainly, you get licensed in the states you live in. You know. But if you do, let's say you go travel to Indiana, well, then just get a carry permit over there too. You can have another permit over there if you want. If you go to another state, you don't have. It ain't just a one state thing. It's just like hunting. You can hunt in Kentucky and get a hunting license here, but if you go hunting in Indiana, you need to get an Indiana license too. So same like a driver license. You know. Yeah. Yeah. Indiana, Kentucky are redneck states. Yeah. Oh no, Chicago is crazy. Yeah. There's some states that have real strict gun laws, and Chicago's one of them. It's really terrible. But that's where the highest gun crime is. It's to show you that them laws don't work. What works is when you got one, I got one, and it make that man think twice. That's what worked. That's the only thing gonna stop a man. We knew that from being in the street. When we was in the street, that's what we understood. If we knew, man, dude got one. I may not. He may have one when I don't have. So we respect that. Man, I ain't gonna mess with dude. I ain't gonna mess with him because I know if I do, he may have what I got. So you always respect people that have that. So the whole point is that's why these crazy shooters, where do they go? The gun-free zones. They go to schools where ain't nobody gonna shoot back at them. They go to places where they know they're gonna create the maximum casualty because ain't no fear of nobody doing nothing to them. But they don't go. Why don't they go to the police station and shoot? You really want to make a statement? You want to die? Go there and start shooting. Why don't they go there? Because they know within the first 2 bullets they're gonna get cut down so quick. They may get a couple off, but it's gonna be over for them because they're gonna have about 16 guns shooting back at them. Why don't they go there? Have you ever thought that? Where do they go? Innocent, defenseless people where they know they can just take their time and just have a good time. See, but when if they come to somebody that's got something, it's always going to end up different. Like we saw something. I'm gonna let y'all go. A guy was he went to that. It was a council meeting, and I don't know what's wrong with him, but he was crazy. He was like, "I'm gonna shoot you." He was talking to the council people. "I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna shoot you." And before he said, "I'm gonna shoot you," he said, "Bow!" He shot off. He shot, but couldn't hit nobody. They was right here. It was just God, because I mean and some old ladies tried to sneak up behind him. I mean, she was a brave old lady, but she tried to sneak up behind him and grab, and she fell down. I'm like, oh, he gonna shoot this old lady, and she was all like that, and he looked at her like, what's wrong with you? Get out of here! And then he fought out, but here come behind her was an undercover officer, come in the back door. And soon as a shot came back at him, this guy killed himself. Because he wanted to inflict. See, he was, as long as he could get, do his free dirt and make his statement and go out like in a bang, because that's the deranged, demon-possessed mind. I'm going to make a statement. The demons are telling him to do it. He was fine, but immediately when he felt resistance, he killed himself. So that's why I tell you, the guns are not bad. They're bad in the hands of the wrong people, okay? But you need to be able to protect your family. Any more questions before we get out? Is everybody, yeah. Yeah, please don't tell them. And don't show it. And the guy robbed him for his gun. He got robbed for his gun, and he couldn't even. But see, he had an open carry. I got one like that where it's a button you push to release. It's like real quick. You can push the button, but the robber didn't know how to get the gun out, so he had to help the man get the gun out. And he robbed him. Yeah, took his Glock, one of them Glock 20s, a big Glock. Yeah, robbed him because he was walking around, showing it. He's showing his gun. That's the worst thing to do. And he was in the hood too. It's a white man that was walking around like he was tough. I guess he like, I wish I would. And somebody snuck up on him and robbed him of his gun. But that's why every concealed carry is it fits inside usually your waist, and it's very small, and people don't even know you have it. And that's the way you want it to be, because the element of surprise is what you want anyway. That's scary. You don't want nobody to, you just don't want nobody to, So anybody that sees something, they're going to come to you harder than they would if they didn't see that. Because if I knew you do got one, I might have to shoot you now. Because you got one. See, that was silly to do it. So even the police tell you, yeah, don't walk around. It is your right. You have a right to do that. But don't do that. Because you just invite trouble. Silly people will see that. And some guys love guns. They'll rob you just to get a gun, So, plus it ain't smart to let a criminal think that they can come in your house and get a gun. You don't want them to know you have guns in your house, because criminals love guns, So everything's got to be surprise. So you want the element of surprise. That just deters a person when they get shocked, because you want them to think, man, I could have died. Yeah, that's a good thought. That's a great thought for you. So you ain't gonna do that no more. You need to think about that, man. They could have killed me. Like that woman that man was trying to rape her, and she drew and shot him. And nobody. I'm like, look, you was trying to do something wrong. She put you down. I mean, I'm a Christian. I pray for you, bro, but oh yeah, that y'all must saw that was on news. These guys on some meth or something was stalking this girl and wanted to try to break in her house. She was a young white girl and she had a baby in the house. And dude had a knife trying to. There was two guys trying to get in the window. They couldn't get in the window. They started kicking on the door. And she called 911. Said, "Listen, I got a shotgun. I'm in here with my baby. I got a shotgun." She said, "Now can I shoot him?" She asked the 911 person, and the 911 said, "Listen, I ain't gonna tell you to shoot him, but you do what you got to do." I mean, and soon, I mean, they said on the phone, he stepped 1 foot in that door. Boom! Man, he died. I mean, that was sad. You know, she lit him up. I mean, 1 foot in the door, shotgun. You ain't have to be able to, aim. Just at the door, and dude was gone. You know, and I hate to say that, you know, because we Christians, we ain't trying to kill nobody, but that's just what would he have done? What would he have done? He could have did it. You know, these deranged people. He could have did anything. She's in there by herself, out somewhere without anybody around, and her husband taught her how to shoot. He had recently died, and he had taught her how to shoot that gun. And it saved her life, you know. So you never know. You know, people on these pills, they got a new drug out that makes people a literal zombie, skin and all, called crocodile. Y'all seen that? Their skin turns into, they die within a year of the drug. The drug kills them within a year. But it's a cheap drug that heroin addicts make when they can't get heroin. And it eats their fingers and it eats off their skin, and they literally turn. I wish I had a picture with me. They call it crocodile because their skin turns into a crocodile-like skin. And they literally, it was in Russia, and they found out there was two guys that somehow made it to the States. Two guys in Arizona just came into the emergency room over it. One of them died. They said within a year, just about a person dies of this drug because it's all cheap poisons that they mix together, and they shoot it in their vein like heroin. And that's what's think the devil ain't got nothing coming. The devil got something coming. When people like that, what would you do if some crocodile guy showed up at the door off his crocodile? He already know he gonna die, so what do he got to lose? You know, see, that's the way the mentality is, you know. So we have to, I mean, I'm not trying to go into, you know, but I am saying you have to think that way. You got to protect your family, your children, amen. All right, stand on your feet. Any more questions before we go? Amen. I'm glad you all got some information. Now you, amen, thank you. You have to do what you have to do with the information you have. You prepare yourself and your family. That's your job now. You have the information. Start preparing yourself. Get your emergency kits together. Get your disaster kits. Start putting some stuff up and back. It's very important that you do that. It's very important. All right, we're not really going to pray because this was information. I hope y'all got it. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about it again. Also, if you have questions, come to me with your questions afterwards. You will have questions. Come talk to me. Don't be afraid to come and ask me. Talk to me about it because at least I want my people prepared if something happened. Okay? I want you to be prepared. Amen? Amen. All right. Thank you all for your time.